Doncaster Rovers. He was their player of the year last season. And Jordan Pickford, who's got the captain's armband. You can hear boos in the background. That's Pickford running back to the goal away to the right. The Everton fans are down the other end, and the Doncaster fans giving a, I guess, traditional greeting to the opposition goalkeeper, the England #1. Pickford's got a big black towel. He's got it up wiping his face, and we're about to get underway. Joe Ironside has got his studs on the ball. He is ready to go. Doncaster Rovers will play from left to right as we look down. It's the team at the very bottom of the fourth tier against the team at the very bottom of the Premier League, and we're underway. And of course, August is always too early to look at league tables, and things need to settle down. Early nerves and shows. A Lowe's crossfield pass goes straight out of play and gives a throw into Everton on the far side. But last weekend, just over a week, 10 days ago it would have been now, and they lost to Villa. Everton dropped down to the bottom of the table, and this surprised me. It was the first time in 13 years that Everton had been at the actual foot of the table. So if the alarm bells aren't ringing now, they never will be. Michael Keane rolls it back to Pickford. First touch is dreadful. He's going to lose it here. Ironside is in to nick it off him, and it was an early chance, and it should have been finished, and Mo Fall wasn't able to get the shot away. Jordan Pickford all over the place inside his penalty area. That is not the start to give Everton much confidence.
No, not a great ball from Michael Keane, but put your foot through it. Just get it out first time. Tries to be clever, tries to take a touch. Doncaster should do better. It's a poor ball under pressure, but they should have got the ball across and put it into an empty net.
So the corner is going to come from the right hand side. Luke Molyneux has placed it. Joined Doncaster just over a year ago, former Sunderland player. It's played to the edge of the penalty area. Tommy Rowe will take it in. That's a really good ball. Oh, defensive header. Alowo, the big burly centre back. He needed a delicate flick on header, and he sort of defensively headed it straight up in the air. What a chance that was for Doncaster. Two chances for the League Two side inside the opening 90 seconds.
No, he forgot what box he was in, didn't he? It was almost like you say, Connor. He's trying to defend it. He gets it right off the top of his head, up into the air. It just needed a glance, and Pickford would have been in trouble. Lovely ball from Tommy Rowe.
Right, so a bright start from Doncaster. Everton have still to settle down. Onana turns on the halfway line and accelerates into the opponent's half. He's rolled the ball in front of Yusuf Chamiti, who's making his first start for Everton. The Portuguese 19-year-old came on as a substitute for his debut in the Premier League against Wolves at the weekend, but he's in from the start tonight. And the other new Portuguese recruit, the big money signing, Beto, who joined yesterday from Udinese. He is in the matchday squad. He's on the bench. He's been given number 14, so we might see him make his debut at some stage. That fee up to £30 million for Beto. Everton need goals, and it's going to be interesting to see if either of these Portuguese players can provide them.
But you said before about the following of Everton fans. One of the reasons they are here is to see Beto. They want to see if he's going to be the man, or Chamiti, who's going to get them up the league, get the goals that they need to get themselves out of trouble.
4 changes for Everton from the game against Wolves on Saturday. We're going to nip straight though to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against AFC Wimbledon, and Chris Wise, a penalty.
A penalty to the League Two team. It's Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. 18 minutes in, James Tilley, AFC Wimbledon's top scorer this season, from the spot, scores it. There is a score line that will prick the ears right down the middle from James Tilley, who is now running the length of the pitch towards those 4,300 AFC Wimbledon supporters, who, as you can imagine, are going absolutely berserk. Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. Stephen Kelly.
It's actually unbelievable. We were just talking off air saying I think AFC could nick one here. They're set up, their shape, they're making it very hard for Chelsea to play through. Long ball into the box, definite penalty, and they put it away. And Chelsea have not been able to pass between them or find any passing lanes. They found it really difficult to break them down. The game on.
Very much so. Robert Sanchez was the offender. He clattered into Harry Pell. Tilley has scored the penalty. Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon 1.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we love cup football. How much money have Chelsea spent over the last 12 months? And they trail at home. And we'll be back in regular touch with Chris and with Stephen there. And we'll see how AFC Wimbledon get on trying to hold on to that lead. Here at the Eco Power Stadium, the old Keep Mode Stadium in Doncaster, 0-0 with Everton in town. And Doncaster have begun this with plenty fire in their belly, Stephen Moore.
Oh, they really have. They've gone after Everton straight away, and that was one of the things that we said was, how will they approach this game? What will they do? We said it was a free hit for them before the show, and we were talking what the the attitude of fear of the Doncaster players. They've taken this game to Everton straight away.
Pitch is in great nick, by the way. Really good surface. Both coaches down there in contrasting sartorial styles. Sean Dyche has got his Sean Dyche uniform, his shirt and his tie and his dark trousers and shiny shoes. And Grant McCann's more casual look. He's got the sort of black tracksuit, the hoodie top, and he's got trainers as he stands with his arms folded across his chest looking on as Luke Molyneux jumps and tries to win a header for Doncaster. Comes down for Owen Bailey. Bailey is composed as he sends it down the right channel, and Ironside will sprint after. Right to his edge of his penalty area comes Jordan Pickford, and he picks up possession for Everton and bowls it out in front of Nathan Patterson and encourages the Scot to run up towards the halfway line. He's immediately met by James Maxwell. Everton playing from right to left as we look down. 4 bright floodlight stanchions. I always think the Sabutio floodlights sort of style. None of your floodlights along the edge of the pitch, just 4 big pylons in each corner beaming down onto the pitch and giving 4 shadows just bouncing away from each player as they run around the pitch. James Maxwell has possession for Doncaster of League 2. Into the midfield to Zane Westbrook. Westbrook, who began his career at Brentford, made 1 league appearance for them before being let go. The goalkeeper is Ian Lawler, who's been the first choice around here for some time. He started the 5 league games this season. He also played in the last round of this competition when Doncaster Rovers beat Hull to get into the second round to get the glamour tie against Premier League Everton. And the start of this game, well, Tommy Rowe, neat and tidy. Out to Maxwell on the left-hand side. Everton working hard to get bodies back behind the ball. Chermiti has stayed up, everyone else back in defence. Crossfield pass towards Molyneux, controls it on his chest. Good movement as he veers towards a crossing position. Now he needs some support. That's supplied by Owen Bailey. You can see some of the lines on the pitch here where they play rugby as well. Those have been sort of camouflaged away as Bailey crosses in from the right hand side. Big leap by Ben Godfrey, heads it out of the penalty area for Everton. But fair to say, Stephen Warnock, Everton haven't settled yet.
No, they haven't, and they haven't been able to settle because of the start that Doncaster have made. It's been really positive for them. As they're setting up from goal kicks, Doncaster, they're putting 4 men up front. They're making sure that they're pushing the back line of Everton back. But then when Everton are trying to build up from the back, they're leaving that 4 high up. They're saying to them, OK, you're going to have to kick long. We're happy for you to kick it long, and we'll deal with that as and when it comes.
So Ian Lawler, the goalkeeper for Doncaster. They've got 3 central defenders: Owen Bailey, Rio Griffiths, Joseph Alowu. Then 2 wing-backs, Luke Molyneux and James Maxwell. 3 in the midfield, Zane Westbrook, George Broadbent and Tommy Rowe, the captain. And then up top, Joe Ironside and Mo Fowler. The Everton team picked for the goalkeeper Patterson, Godfrey, Keane and Mikalenko. 3 of those 4 have changed from the Premier League game at the weekend. It's a first Premier League start to the season for Mikalenko and for Godfrey. First appearances for the 2 of those. Then in midfield, Onana alongside Gardner. Doucouré will push on. Danjuma on the right. Lewis Dobbin on the left. Dobbin, who's featured in all of Everton's opening 3 Premier League games of the new season. And then up top, Yusuf Chermiti, the 19-year-old who's yet to be involved in the game yet. Let's see if Everton can get him involved here as Patterson gets to the byline down the right hand side, but he's tracked by Maxwell. Maxwell makes the challenge and out it goes for a corner to Everton. Still 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
Lovely position from Lewis Dobbin, just getting in between, coming off the line, allowing Patterson to go round him, making it difficult for the Doncaster players to pick him up, and then he just picks it up, turns, drives at the Doncaster defenders and then slips Patterson in down that right hand side. That's the type of movement that Sean Dyche's Everton need to make tonight.
AFC Wimbledon still leading away at Chelsea midway through the first half there. That's the story of the night so far as Doncaster deal with the corner that was delivered in by James Garner. Patterson picks it up near the halfway line, put under pressure. He'll turn and roll it all the way back to Pickford. Isolated figure with the short sleeves. Away to our right hand side, Pickford's left footed clearance towards Mikalenko right up against the chalk of the touchline, chests the ball to keep it in play, and then the run from Chermiti. He had been offside, and that will be a free kick to Doncaster away to our left. And Bailey just rolls the ball back in front of the goalkeeper Lawler and says to him, well, you can take it. This is the first meeting of these clubs since 1985. Back then they were drawn together in the FA Cup. Everton won by 2-0 at Goodison. And a nice touch tonight, Doncaster have invited members of that 1985 team who played Everton to come here. 8 of the starting 11 are here tonight. I believe they're going to be paraded on the pitch at half time. Ian Lawler takes the clearance for Doncaster down the left wing. It's going to roll through to James Maxwell here. Patterson was beaten by the bounce. Good recovery from Patterson though, and the last touch comes off the Doncaster player. It goes for a goal kick, and you can hear a bit of unrest from the home fans who thought there was a chance they were going to get a corner there. Still 0-0.
Yeah, he just miskicked it, Maxwell, down that left hand side under a little bit of pressure from Patterson, but you can see what they're trying to do from the goal kicks. Up to Ironside, little flick on, Maxwell coming round the back, making sure that he's free. It's been a great start to the game from Doncaster.
These two clubs haven't been in the same division as each other since the 1950s. They've only ever been in the same division as each other twice in their long, proud histories. So it is a bit of a rarity that they're up against each other tonight. Throw into Doncaster. And yeah, I mean, praise for Doncaster, but you know, been rather harsh on Everton, but you don't tell the huge difference in class between these two teams. Premier League against fourth tier in the early stages of this game so far. We've played 10 minutes. Garner clears away from the back for Everton, but it's way too far in front of Chermiti, and that should be mopped up by Rio Griffiths. Turns, rolls it back to Lawler. Probably could have done with a bit more strength in the back pass. Lawler's going to sprint out with Chermiti bearing down on him, but the Doncaster Rovers goalkeeper does get it away. Onana's busy in the midfield. Nice little flick on to Lewis Dobbin, who's now playing on the right-hand side. Danjuma left for Everton. Lewis Dobbin on the right. Dobbin, who's been an Evertonian since he was 11 years of age, been involved with the club's youth system. Patterson rolls it back to Ben Godfrey. Godfrey, who this time last season in August suffered that bad leg break right at the beginning of the campaign and completely disrupted his whole season. He'll hope to have a full, clean bill of health now throughout this campaign. Garner, the former Manchester United man, back to Godfrey again. Everton are trying to play it neat and tidy as it's back to Pickford, who booms it long again down the right wing, trying to get Doucouré involved out there. That's a good ball in front of Dobbin. He'll sprint, but it just bounces heavily on the turf and spins away from him. And cheers from the Doncaster fans as it goes harmlessly out for a goal kick. And Doncaster have survived the first 11 minutes anyway. Let's check in on the Champions League qualifying playoff second leg tonight. Rangers are in Eindhoven. Here's Gavin Wallace.
PSV 0, Rangers 0. Connor still 2 each on aggregate, just over 11 minutes on the clock. Best chance coming just a minute or two ago on the 11th minute. Joey Veerman from range shot, but Jack Butland was down to his left very well to save, and smartly at that as well. It's very much in the ascendancy this game, a lot happening, but still PSV 0, Rangers 0.
And 2-2 on aggregate. Last night Galatasaray, Braga Young Boys all won their playoffs. Here is Onana for Everton, left wing back position. Mikalenko's straight upfield a bit further. Danjuma gets it on the halfway line and plays a nice neat 1-2 with Doucouré there. Danjuma to within 10 yards of the byline. Back to Doucouré again. This is good from Everton, but an excellent challenge. George Broadbent on the edge of his own penalty area takes the ball away from Doucouré, who's battled hard to try and win it back here. But Doncaster so far dealing with what Everton have been able to throw at them. Doncaster Rovers 0, Everton 0.
Well, the games that I've watched Everton so far this season, Danjuma's been the best player. Whenever he gets on the ball, tries to attack, tries to take people on. He was the player there. Him and Doucouré trying to go at the heart of Doncaster defence. Credit to Broadbent now. He stayed with his man, stayed with the task, came out on top.
Last night in this competition there were wins for Middlesbrough, Port Vale, Mansfield, Stoke, Leicester, Wolves, Bradford, Salford, who beat Leeds dramatically on penalties. Cardiff went through, Norwich, Exeter, Luton, Brentford, Crystal Palace. Ipswich went through as well. As here Doncaster Rovers come on the attack into the penalty area with the dangly legs of Mo Fall, who's twisting and turning but never fully had it under his control, and in the end he's adjudged to have fouled Lewis Dobbin, and that's a free kick to Everton midway inside their own half.
I wasn't surprised you couldn't read that one then. Your handwriting is tiny. I was looking and I was thinking, where are you reading that?
Have you seen John Murray's handwriting?
Yeah, disgraceful.
That is, you would need a magnifying glass from NASA, sort of telescope to view Mars to be able to see the respected correspondent's handwriting, which is impeccably neat. But if you're going to be that small, you've got to be neat, whereas mine looks a bit more of a scrawl. Everton struggling to get clean possession here. Godfrey's given it away on the halfway line. Chance of a counter-attack here. Mo Fall who looks a bit of a live wire, doesn't he, as he cuts in off the wing on the left-hand side, plays a crossfield ball. Molyneux's done really well to get there. Mikolenko should have been able to clear away. Molyneux takes on the Ukrainian to the byline, hangs in the cross, foul, gets up, can't get a clean header, just sort of come off his nose, he couldn't get his forehead on it. Everton are able to clear it away. Doncaster remain on top, 0-0 on 5 Live at the Eco Power Stadium.
Well, Mikolenko's got his hands tied here with Molyneux. He's got him twisted inside out a couple of times. Lovely stand up to the back post, and then you're looking at Mo Fall and you're thinking, go and attack it. Credit to Patterson though, he defends the back post excellently, because if he hadn't have stood his ground, it would have been a clear header for him at goal.
You know, in a way, it's a hiding to nothing for Everton tonight. If they win this comfortably, they're not going to get any praise from anyone. They're playing the team bottom of the 4th tier. However, this is fraught with danger, isn't it? I mean, the way Doncaster have started, if Everton thought their campaign was worrying up until now, they'll be very concerned with what's happened here in the opening quarter of an hour at the Eco Power Stadium. Possession stats, territory, it's all in Doncaster's favour so far. They've had the best chances too. Foul gives it out to Maxwell on the left-hand side, but he's blazed that cross. He's absolutely lashed it. It goes over Pickford's crossbar, and that is a goal kick to Everton away to our right-hand side, and still 0-0.
I think the big thing is when you're watching Everton at the moment, they're saying the ball's not getting moved quick enough, but you have to say, give the credit to Doncaster. They're pressing in the right areas. You've got to make sure that you do that. It's how long they can continue doing that for, and how long they can keep the concentration levels up.
Over on Sports Extra, England against New Zealand, the first T20 at Chesterley Street, and Eleanor Oldroyd can bring us up to date here on 5 Live.
End of the power play, so 6 overs down, England 61 for 1, and they are cruising towards that target of 140 to win. Didn't feel like it at the start though. Johnny Bairstow out for 4, but Will Jacks is on 22, David Milan on 29. England 61 for 1, chasing 140 to win.
Thanks very much, Eleanor. Commentary of England women against Sri Lanka in their T20 tomorrow from 5:45 on Sports Extra. And by the way, tomorrow on 5 Live we'll bring you reaction to the Champions League draw, which takes place at I think, is the draw from 7 p.m? Certainly our reaction on 5 Live will be from 7 p.m. I think the draw might be earlier in the day. Doncaster Rovers 0, Everton 0. This is the Carabao Cup, the second round. This is when the Premier League teams get involved. Doncaster doing well so far. Bailey tries to clear it away. They've got their confidence here to try and play out from the back, and they get a bit bogged down in heavy traffic in midfield. Maxwell can't keep the ball in play, and out it goes for a throw into Everton. And Nathan Patterson, who started all 3 Premier League games so far this season, he's got that right back position to his own at the moment, with Seamus Coleman recovering from the knee injury. Everton have it on the halfway line. Onana to Patterson, who is stretching. They'll do well not to give it away here. Garner does get possession, comfortable back inside the centre circle again, and then Mikolenko delivers it low to the feet of Danjuma with the white boots. The Dutchman tries to take on Owen Bailey, but he can't get past him.
It's a foul, Connor. It's a foul. He's body checked him. It was lovely skill from Danjuma. Just slips it, or just dinks it over the leg of Bailey, and he's away from him.
But the referee didn't ping for it, and Doncaster play on. No VAR tonight, by the way, at this 4th tier stadium. Referee tonight is Tom Reeves. Doncaster in their red and white hoops. And this is George Broadbent over the halfway line, low to the feet of Mo Fall, and that one bounced off him. He couldn't get it under his control at all. So Takuri says thanks very much and picks up possession. Gives it to Danjuma, 15 yards outside the Doncaster Rovers penalty. Another heavy challenge comes in, and again that same player from Owen Bailey. Referee's happy for play to continue. Everton still in possession, but they're forced back to Pickford.
They're just struggling to find players on the ball. What they've got to try and do is, I know we're seeing it week in, week out, but if you put Mikolenko inside a little bit, then isolate Danjuma in a 1v1 against Owen Bailey, you'll find it so difficult, but they're not being able to do that at the moment. Just
confirmation, the Champions League draw tomorrow is at 5 p.m. We'll bring you instant reaction to that on Drive, and then of course a more detailed analysis on 5 Live Sport from 7. Wicket at the cricket, back to Eleanor Oldroyd again.
Yes, the partnership is broken. Will Jacks, a horrible shot caught by Allen off the bowling of Ish Sodhi for 22 off 12 deliveries. 62 for 2 England, and that brings Harry Brook out to join David Milan.
Thanks very much, Eleanor, from the Eco Power Stadium here, where it's Doncaster Rovers 0, Everton 0, to the Envirovent Stadium. Harrogate Town against Blackburn Rovers. Here's Naz Premji.
Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 3. Another cross from the right-hand side, a cutback, and John Buckley charging in has fired in Rovers third. It's a professional performances from the Championship side. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 3.
Thanks very much, Naz. Here's Everton. Doucouré tries to play it forward to Chermiti. Chermiti, who's not had a comfortable touch of the ball in the game. Dobbin tried a backheel on the edge of the D that didn't work at all. He stumbled and fell over. Doncaster Rovers regained possession. Bailey goes long this time, looking for foul. He is the target. They keep looking for him at all times. Pass wasn't good behind him, and that goes out for a throw into Everton. Throw in for Nathan Patterson down the right hand side. So it doesn't feel like there's going to be any big shock at Harrogate with cup shock with Harrogate trailing Blackburn Rovers by 3-0. The shock at the moment is at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea still trail AFC Wimbledon by 1-0. The way the League Cup is split up is northern and southern clubs in two sort of different sections. We've got two of the northern teams here. Onana out to Danjuma on the left hand side, back into Onana once again, who veers his way out towards the corner flag. Everton attack down the left, but there's no getting past the defender, and the ball is put out of play by Molyneux, and out for a throw into Everton, attacking the end, where their supporters, after much noise and singing in the early stages, have gone a bit quiet. Throw in taken by Mikalenko. Onana will turn and roll it back to Michael Keane. Keane, who came on as a substitute against Wolves on Saturday. It's a dreadful pass from him. He came on in the 90th minute as a centre forward, which sort of shows the emergency break glass scenario that Everton have been in the opening weeks of the campaign. Tonight he's starting in his regular position at centre half, but he'll have been disappointed with that pass there. Let's get an update from the City Ground. Nottingham Forest against Burnley tonight, an all-Premier League affair for Charlie Slater.
Well, here goes Chris Wood as he tries to cross the ball into the penalty area. Comes back to Koyate, who fires over the top of the crossbar. That's as good as it's got. It's been an awful game of football so far. 35 minutes gone. Forest 0, Burnley 0.
Sounds like we chose the right moment to come anyway. Thanks, Charlie. Hope it livens up there. 0-0 here between Doncaster Rovers and Everton. This nice evening in South Yorkshire. Myself and Stephen were discussing it. This is the first game I've brought a coat to this season. I'm glad I have the coat. I wouldn't say I definitely need it, but it's, it still feels summer football.
No, I put mine on before the game thinking I didn't want to cause it. We're in so tight, aren't we? We're compacted in, we're like sardines. It was like Deno at Villa Park the other week when he was complaining. And I thought, I won't put my coat on. Then I was thinking, well, if I don't, I'm going to be banging into people left, right and centre. But now I've got the Eskimo effect. I'm sweating, Connor. I'm roasting hot.
It's a lovely evening. There's not much breeze. Bone dry. Danjuma waited for the ball to come down. Bailey didn't. He lunged in. But it's worked out okay for Everton here as Chermiti takes it down the left-hand side, gives it away. Some groans from the travelling fans. He's young, Chermiti. He's only 19. He's not had much first choice football. He used to play in Portugal with Sporting. Here comes Luke Molyneux down the other end for Doncaster. He's full of confidence, taking on Onana. Good defensive work for the Belgian international, though. Stops Molyneux's surge right at the byline, and out it goes for a corner to Doncaster. Luke Molyneux, every time he's been on the ball, he's been direct and he's provided something.
Yeah, there's a real trust in Ironside as well to hold the ball up, run beyond him, and then when he does, he's not cutting back, he's taking people on down the outside. Really positive play.
Two standing over the corner. Zane Westbrook has gone over there. I think it's going to be him to swing it in as Luke Molyneux steps away. Everton have brought everyone back to within 10 yards of Jordan Pickford's goal. Here it comes, Westbrook. It's a reverse move to the edge of the area, over the top from Tommy Rowe. There was no one marking him. Rehearsed move from the training ground, and it nearly worked for Doncaster Rovers. Tommy Rowe looking for his first goal of the season, had one disallowed for offside against MK Dons on Saturday. He was about a foot and a half over the top.
Yeah, well, when you look at the two teams, when they line up against each other from set pieces, Everton are by far the bigger team, so they had to be clever, they had to try something different. Really smart from Doncaster, unlucky from Tommy Rowe.
So Everton under pressure here. Let's check on the progress of another Premier League side. Sheffield United hosting Lincoln City this evening at Bramall Lane. Here's Betty Glover.
Still goalless thanks to Lincoln's defending. Sheffield United look dangerous when they get going. Lovely link-up of play between Norwood and Larouci. Ball lands to Ollie McBurney, who took a shot but it was blocked by Brown and eventually cleared. Other than that, not a lot to write home about. Sheffield United 0, Lincoln 0.
Thanks very much. 0-0 here. at the Eco Power Stadium. Header of the back for Mikolenko, who missed the end of last season with an injury, and of course over the summer they brought in Ashley Young, and he's been playing left back, so Mikolenko's got a point to prove this evening as he gets a chance to start. He's not been able to do much in terms of going forward in these opening 24 minutes so far. The throw in here comes towards Mikolenko, tries to head it away, doesn't get great distance on it. Michael Keane has to use all his strength here to hold off Joe Ironside. Referee says that he does it fairly, and Keane's clearance is going to give possession away again. Everton really struggling to hold on to it when they win the ball back. In the midfield, Bailey needs the help behind him of a low. That's very neat. Westbrook plays it out into space as he overcooked that he has. That's unfortunate for Doncaster. Nice little exchange of passes in the middle. Then they tried to spread it, but it was overcooked. Went over James Maxwell and out for a throw into Everton. Stephen Warner.
Can I say this in a nice way? Joe Ironside is a pest. But in a nice way, in the way that he's in and around Michael Keane. He's not giving him a minute's rest. He's up against him, he's dragging his shirt, he's pulling his arm back, making sure that he finds space. Michael Keane knows he's in a game.
I'm a big fan of a pest of a forward. Is that what Everton need? Do Everton need a pest?
Absolutely they do. They need someone who's going to hold the ball up, who's going to bring others into play, and you've got a foundation to build off, and at the moment they don't have that. Chimiti just hasn't brought anything to Everton so far. He'll argue that he hasn't had any service.
Born and raised in the Azores, Yusuf Chimiti turned 19 in May, starting for Everton for the first time, and they're really hoping that he clicks. They've also got Beto, another Portuguese player, another striker, who only arrived to the club yesterday but immediately put on the bench by Sean Dyche, and hopefully we'll get to see a bit of him later on as well. But 0-0 for the moment between Doncaster Rovers and Everton here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Mo Fall, he's one of those, he takes a touch, he's definitely going to lose it here, and then he gets there again, and you think he's definitely going to lose it here, and he suddenly gets it again. And his exuberance that time is a foul on Takure, and that's a free kick to Everton, and Takure hasn't moved. He's down, face down on the turf. Referees asked him, does he want treatment? I think he said no, but he's slowly getting back up to his feet. Right, story of the night, no doubt about it, is at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against AFC Wimbledon, who've scored early. Chris Wise has got the latest.
And they've still got that dream scoreline, AFC Wimbledon, through that Tilly penalty 19 minutes in. Lots of possession for Chelsea since. Chances, though, in terms of decent ones, they're at a premium. We've had Ian Matson with a shot which took a deflection, just went wide of the post. As you expect, Stephen Kelly, Chelsea have had a lot of the ball. The trouble is they're struggling to break the League Two team down.
Yeah, AFC Wimbledon, their shape is excellent. They're so well drilled, making it very hard for Chelsea to play between the lines. And when Chelsea have gone to that final third, it's a great break here from AFC Wimbledon.
Here's Davidson running forward. Oh, goodness me, the challenge nearly fizzed past Robert Sanchez and made it 2-0 AFC Wimbledon. It's a corner to the visitors instead. You can tell, Connor, we've got a game on here. Chelsea nil, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Thanks, Chris. I think we'll be back soon. Here comes Luke Molyneux down the right
play
side. He had managed to shrug away from Danjuma, and as you can hear from Stephen Warnock, he should have got an advantage. The referee brought it back for a foul. Bailey would have been away down the right-hand side, and that's the boos, that's the protest you can hear in the background.
So frustrating. Let it play out. If you want to bring it back later on, if you think the foul's continuing and he loses the ball, then fair enough.
Free kick's taken short. Westbrook swings it in, good delivery. Chimiti back there, heads it away, and now a chance of a counter-attack here for Everton. Lewis Dobbin up to the halfway line. He started out great guns, but then he got held up and he's given it away. Everton should have cleared there. Chance to break in. Low ball across the area though from that was Westbrook, and it's easily held on to the goal by the goalkeeper Pickford. Everton should have had a counter-attack there, and they ended up having to defend. Here they come, down the other end. Patterson shows too much of it to Maxwell sliding in. And the ball goes out for a throw into Everton on the far side.
I know it's 0-0. It's a cracking game, isn't it? When you think of what Doncaster are trying to do, Dobbin, though, on the other side of things, should have done better. Just stood on the ball and it lost momentum in the attack, and then a poor pass from him. They've struggled ever so slightly, Everton, just to get that momentum, to get that rhythm to go forward. But that's all from Doncaster's organisation. Stephen Kelly was just talking about Wimbledon being organised. Doncaster are exactly the same here.
So just a delay in taking the throw. The referee's been speaking with Takure. Now we're back underway. Patterson took the throw, gets possession back again, rolls it in low towards the feet of Chermiti, can't make it stick on the edge of the box. It's a familiar feeling that Everton fans have had this season. Neil Mope, who started up front on the opening day, he missed a few chances, couldn't really hold it up, couldn't bring his teammates into play. Danjuma led the line through the weekend, same old story. I mean, they're creating chances, Everton, but not able to score goals. And we're now up to 300 minutes of football this new season for Everton, and they still haven't scored a goal. Free kick to Doncaster here and a chance for them to clear it away.
I think it's quite clear to see why they haven't scored a goal, isn't it, Connor? There's no patterns of play, there's no sort of individual brilliance to get on the ball and trying to create something. It seems very off the cuff, it seems very reactive, and just wait and see what happens, what opens up for us.
Look at Everton's injury list at the moment. There is a lot of creativity absent at the moment, which I think adds to the point Stephen's just been making with Dwight McNeil. I mean, they're really missing him. Alex Iwobi, Jack Harrison, new signing from Leeds, has arrived with an injury. Obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is out. Dele Alli's out. You know, that's the creative end of the squad that's unavailable. This is really good play by Maxwell. Scoops the ball into the penalty area. Important header by Mikalenko. Comes down to Broadbent. He fires from the edge of the area. Then another shot comes in, and Pickford was scrambling, but it's away off target. Doncaster are the team at top at the Eco Power Stadium, and Everton are under pressure here. Premier League against League Two, but Doncaster are banging on the door.
Yeah, lovely play by Maxwell down the left hand side, gets his cross in, and as it comes to the edge of the box, it falls to Tommy Rowe. He gets a strike in, that gets blocked, and then as it comes out to Zane Westbrook, one touch out of his feet, gets the strike. I think Pickford was beaten, and it hits one of the posts behind the goal that holds the net up. Great strike, great effort on goal. More of the same from Doncaster. They're dominating this game.
Right, well, it's 0-0 here between Doncaster Rovers and Everton. It's been an exciting opening half hour. You look at Chelsea's season, drew at Liverpool in their opening game, lost at West Ham. They got their first win of the campaign against Premier League new boys Luton at the weekend. Tonight, though, Chris Wise, I don't think they've turned the corner. What's the latest at Stamford Bridge?
An equaliser for Chelsea, another penalty in this game, and this one's been converted as well. Noni Madueke won it with a speedy run on the right-hand side. No doubt about the decision for referee Tony Harrington, and Madueke stepped up and scored the penalty with conviction as well. So right on that 45-minute mark, Chelsea won, AFC Wimbledon won.
Yeah, Madueke's been their best player. Every time he's received the ball, he's been dangerous, he's looked a threat. He's been getting too deep though, but this time he got to the final third. Chelsea on the break here again now.
Yeah, they're breezing forward now, looking to perhaps steal the advantage before half-time. AFC Wimbledon are out with that. So we're in first half stoppage time. Chelsea won, AFC Wimbledon won.
That's right, AFC Wimbledon have already had 3 wins this season, 2 of them in League Two and one of them in the first round of this competition when they beat Coventry to secure that trip to Stamford Bridge. We'll be back with Chris and Stephen as the evening progresses. 0-0 between Doncaster Rovers and Everton here. Everton bottom of the Premier League and looking for a boost tonight, looking for, you know, a bit of feel-good factor to take into their trip to Sheffield United on Saturday. That's their next Premier League game. Then, of course, it goes into the international break. And, you know, get a win tonight, get a win against Sheffield United, and Everton fans will feel, right, OK, poor start to the season, but we've settled down. But if those two things don't happen, Stephen Wardock, that international break is going to be one of a lot of turmoil because the transfer window is going to be closed and Everton are going to really feel the heat. So there is a pressure tonight.
Oh, there is, absolutely there is. I mean, the main pressure comes on Saturday against Sheffield United. Tonight would compound it, would make it worse going into that game. However, the Premier League is the bread and butter for Everton. They have to survive, have to make sure that going into that new stadium, they have Premier League football.
Yeah, cup runs won't be the top of the priority list for Everton. We said that right at the start of this evening. The last trophy, the FA Cup in 1995 under Joe Royle, and it means that this is currently the club's longest ever run without major silverware. You go back over the years, the successful Everton teams they've never had a run this long without silverware. And this is their opening game of this League Cup campaign. Mikalenko to the byline left-hand side, hoping he might get a corner, but the last touch went off him. And the applause from the Doncaster fans because it is a goal kick to them. So Ian Lawler plays ball boy, runs across, gets it, throws the ball down in the 6-yard box and takes it. He, the Doncaster Rovers Irish goalkeeper, has yet to have a proper save to make. In fact, any save to make in this game so far, with over half an hour played now. We're a third of the way through the match. Neat and tidy at the back from Jack Senior. to James Maxwell. They do have confidence, Doncaster, to try and play their way out of the back, and once or twice they've been caught. That time Dobbin briefly intercepted, but he wasn't able to hold on to it for long. Patterson takes a throw in on the far side. Onana, who's very strong, holds off the attempted challenge from Tommy Rowe, and then it's played to Danjuma on the near side. Another rough challenge to Owen Bailey. This time the referee says that is a foul. Free kick to Everton, midway into Doncaster territory on the left-hand side. Now they've reached the break, and I believe there's been a late goal before it. Naz Primji's at Harrogate Town against Blackburn Rovers.
Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 4. Comprehensive from Rovers. Jake Garrett, Sam Gallagher, John Buckley and Dylan Marcandy with the latest lovely shot from the edge of the area. Jack Muldoon at a post for the home side, but there's no shock here, Connor. It's Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 4.
Yes, this game here, Doncaster-Everton game, started at 8 o'clock. The others were 7:45 kickoffs tonight, which means it's also half-time at Bramall Lane. Here's Betty Glover.
Yeah, goalless at the break. Sheffield United will be frustrated with that first half. Glimmers of nice play, but Lincoln have been defending really well, playing with confidence, not allowing United to really get into this. The most notable chance came from McBurney for the home side. He took a shot from inside the area, but it was well blocked. Sheffield United 0, Lincoln 0.
Everton's free kick comes into the penalty area. Onana's done well to turn on the right-hand side. Here comes his cross into the middle. Header up and away, though, by George Broadbent. They haven't fully cleared it, Doncaster. Pinball inside the penalty area. Knocked back in by Dobbin for Everton and repelled again, so that Garner will get it and place it back to the halfway line. And a huge sigh of relief from Doncaster. That's the most nervous moment, really, with the ball pinging around inside their penalty area, but they get it away and the game remains at 0-0. Patterson has possession, halfway line for Everton, playing in blue, playing from right to left as we look down. Mikalenko with the white boots, under pressure from Luke Molyneux, turns, rolls it back to Ben Godfrey, and Godfrey turns and gives it all the way back to Pickford.
Yeah, they're struggling to really create anything, but when they do go long, when they do go a little bit more direct, Everton, it suits them because they've got big players, they've got players that can win the ball in the air.
Header by Michael Keane, straight out for a throw-in. And Everton finding it difficult to comfortably move through the gears, to comfortably turn defence into attack. 0-0 here, and a throw-in to Doncaster near the halfway line. Right-hand side as they come forward. Back to events in Eindhoven. Rangers hoping to be in tomorrow's Champions League draw. PSV Eindhoven against Rangers. Second leg of the playoff. Gavin Wallace.
It's not looking good for them, Connor. They're a goal down. PSV Eindhoven 1, Rangers 0. Ismail Sabari with a close range header on the 35th minute, and if this continues then Rangers will not make it in to that draw tomorrow. 10 minutes to go to half time. PSV 1, Rangers 0. 3-2 on aggregate.
Thanks, Gavin. Big chance for Doncaster here. Luke Molyneux, who stole into the penalty area on the right hand side, and he just couldn't control the ball. It came awkwardly at him. He sort of chested it and didn't get a clean touch, but there was no defender anywhere near him, and if he'd been able to just get his body shape right, that was probably the best chance of the game so far, and let off for Everton.
Yeah, it just bounced so awkwardly in front of him, didn't it? You're almost thinking as it's coming over, go meet it on the full, go and head it or volley it. But they're causing problems, Doncaster. At the other end of the pitch, Chamiti's really struggling from Everton. He can't get hold of the ball. He's getting brushed off it every single time by Alohu, and it's far too easy for Doncaster. There's nothing for Everton to build off.
That's the voice of Stephen Warnock watching this game with us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The Carabao Cup tonight at the Eco Power Stadium. I mean, you must have had many situations like that in your playing career, Stephen. You're coming up from the left-hand side and cross comes in and you're just hoping it bounces nicely for you.
Yeah, I wasn't that far up, Connor.
See, I was trying to be kind to you there. I thought you were going to tell me some story.
I appreciated it, but no.
Oh, dear. You see, you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Back to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea AFC Wimbledon. Chris Wise.
Chasm between these two clubs, but nothing between them tonight so far. Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. 2 penalties. Tilly giving Wimbledon the lead 19 minutes in. Madueke won and scored the equaliser for Chelsea in first half stoppage time. It is a cup tie that is still active. Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Yeah, remember, we get outcomes from all these games tonight, even if it goes all the way to penalties. Half-time at the City Ground as well. Nottingham Forest against Burnley. Charlie Slater.
Forest 0, Burnley 0. This has been awful. Fraught with errors. Neither side have managed a single shot on target. It's a corner phrase from the legendary Brian Clough. It's not the worst game of football I've ever seen, but it's in the top one. Goalless at the break.
The game as bad as Stephen Warnock was as going forward from left back. Right, let's see if we could get some goals here. 15 minutes to go until half time by the time the stoppages are added on, and Everton have yet to warm the gloves of Ian Lawler, the Doncaster Rovers goalkeeper. Mikalenko, who's crept into midfield as Premier League fullbacks tend to do these days. Patterson will try to take it forward down the right hand side, but he can't find Dobbin. And that's happened too often for Everton. Just the simple things. Passes, 10 yards, make it stick, first touch. Time and time again, they're making life difficult for themselves.
But again, that comes down to what you're working on the training ground, the patterns of play, the understanding between the players, what you're trying to achieve as you're going down that right-hand side, or the interplay between the players. It just looks like they haven't played together before, which is just, it's baffling, really is.
Doncaster hoping for a little bit of history tonight. Since moving to this stadium in 2007, they've never beaten a Premier League club here. Here comes Joe Ironside, controlling it about 5 yards outside the penalty area, laying it back to Mo Fowl. He takes a bit of time to turn, so Everton have got their full complement of defenders back, but a decent crossfield ball picks out Luke Molineux in a bit of room, and now he's got an overlapping run from Bailey outside him. Molineux comes in field, delivers it in. Godfrey jumps in front of his own 6-yard box and heads it away, but only back out as far as Molineux, who tries to bring it with him into the penalty area and is stopped by Onana. Onana tries to turn defence into attack, but the ball towards Dobbin is intercepted by James Maxwell. Doncaster get it back again, and now they're going to get a free kick.
Oh, how well does Maxwell do there, because he stops an attack, sliding challenge on the floor, just gets an interception, then starts an attack. He goes, faces up Onana. I don't think it's a foul, Connor. I think Onana's just so big and strong. He brushes Maxwell to the side. The referee decides that it's a free kick, and this is an opportunity now for Doncaster to either put some quality in, or, as we've seen earlier on, try something inventive, move the ball in a different direction and try and take Everton by surprise.
You know, a lot of similarities between these two teams, and we've been praising Doncaster as the fourth tier side, putting Everton under pressure, but they haven't been able to create chances on target. Free kick's been taken and it's offside as Everton's defence all stepped out together. They are getting into dangerous areas, but they're not pulling the trigger, and you can kind of see from that point of view why, you know, a little bit like Everton, they're waiting for their first league win of the season too. It's the game tonight could well be one on which strike force will actually take a chance and put it in the back of the net.
And the big thing I'd say, though, is, Connor, we expect that from Doncaster because of the league position where they are and the league that they're in. From Everton's point of view, we don't expect them not to create a single opportunity.
If they can't create opportunities against the team at the bottom of the fourth tier, well, then you do worry for Everton in the Premier League. Here's Mikalenko. One goal, of course, can change the narrative for them. Onana, strong challenge in the midfield, does enough to help it onto Doucouré. Now here's Danjuma. It's a team of internationals for Everton. Danjuma, 1-2. Here's the chance. Flashes it across the face of goal. The angle was tight. He was about 6 yards out. He aimed for the far bottom corner, but he's put it wide. And it's the same old. Everton's season of woe in front of goal continues.
Yeah, Grant McCann's furious down in front of us because his team should clear the ball. They tried to be cute, they tried to be clever. Danjuma gets the ball, little 1-2 with Onana. Nana takes a tackle under pressure, but as Danjuma gets in the box, then it's almost like that Elvis shuffle, isn't it, with the knees. He drops the defender, goes to the left-hand side, and you're thinking, composure, relax yourself. He doesn't. He's still 100 mile an hour, flashes the ball across the goal. Great opportunity for Everton.
I mean, you contrast, I was at St James's Park on Sunday, the quality of the Darwin Núñez finishes, and again, you know, the angle is kind of tight and you're putting it across the face of the goalkeeper, but just, you know, hit so sweetly, and that wasn't what happened with Danjuma there. It was bending away from the target as he hit it, and this is the problem for Everton. They're not going to get many chances. They've got to take them, and that one should have been at least on target. Throw in taken by Molineux on the right hand side, gets it back again, crossing position, dancing in front of Mikalenko, dummies it on his left boot, then he comes in his right. He's a tricky customer, tries the Cruyff turn about a third time, and Mikalenko eventually slides in and puts it out of play for a throw in. But the Doncaster fans are enjoying this game from Luke Molineux so far. He's been lively.
Yeah, I think he's having a little look at Mikalenko there, saying, I've got you, I know I've got you, you're struggling to deal with me. He can't work him out.
Mikalenko's first appearance of the new season, looking a bit rusty, I think it's fair to say. Doncaster take the throw in. Molineux gives it to George Broadbent. Back to Molineux again. Oh, he's flicked it through. Can Broadbent get on the end of this? Sweeping across comes Michael Keane. And anywhere will do as he blasts it away and out for a throw. And Everton continue to be under pressure. Closing stages of the first half. Throw in will be taken by Molineux again. 2 balls briefly on the pitch, so he just hesitates. Little hush descends over what has been a loud and lively Eco Power Stadium, around about 12,000 in here, and they're hoping that maybe, just maybe, there could be a cup shock on the cards. 0-0 between Doncaster Rovers and Everton on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Long ball played forward. Ironside takes it down on his chest inside the penalty area. He's done so well. Molyneux onto his left, tries to swing in a shot. It's blocked by Danjuma, but the loose ball ricochets and stays here from Maxwell, who delivers it back in, and not for the first time tonight. He's put too much on that, but Mikolenko wasn't sure what was behind him, and he's put it out for a corner. Corner to Doncaster on the right hand side.
Yeah, lovely play by Doncaster. Mikolenko's worrying at the back post because he's having a tough game against Molyneux. He's thinking, is he behind me? Whereabouts is he? I don't want to take the chance.
A while ago, Doncaster had a very dangerous chance with one of these where they had a rehearsed move, and they're going to try another one here that's rolled short. And here, the same thing again. No one marking Tommy Rowe, and he plays it in, and it's flicked, and it's in! Lightning strikes twice, and this time it hits the target. Doncaster Rovers, bottom of the 4th division, lead Premier League Everton, and it's Joe Ironside who's flicked it in front of goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. That same corner routine happened 10 minutes ago. Everton didn't learn the lesson, and Sean Dyche's team have been punished. We've a cup set on our hands here, short of half-time at the Eco Power Stadium. Doncaster lead Everton. Everton's misery deeper than ever this season.
Well, there was cries in front of us, put it in the box, get it in there when they went short. They were calm, they were patient. The ball from Tommy Rowe is delicious. It's just asking to be attacked. The Everton defenders come out too quick. They all get caught underneath the ball. Joe Ironside times his run to perfection. Pickford comes off his line and he just glances it past him with the finest of headers, and it's nothing short of what Doncaster deserve.
Lovely ball in from the captain, Tommy Rowe. What a time to score, just as the 4th official raises the board to indicate just 2 minutes to be added on. Sean Dyche is fuming. He's standing down there, statuesque, looking at proceedings here. His expensively assembled, highly paid Premier League squad have not been able to act cohesively against the team at the bottom of the Football League. And Dyche he's got a job to do here, because this was not a goal against the run of play. This was not a flash in the pan. Doncaster have created the better chances in the match. They've finally taken one. Everton, who still haven't scored a goal this season, trailing away from home, and this could be quite the story brewing here now.
Oh, wait till you hear the boos at half-time. If it stays 1-0, the fans will let the team know. They'll let Sean Dyche know it's unacceptable. It's been very, very poor so far, but here come Everton.
Chermiti laying it up for Onana, shots on target, saved away by Ian Lawler. Everton's first shot on target of the game. He kept it low, Onana, and the goalkeeper saved it with his legs. Down the other end, Molyneux, who's having a great game against Mikolenko. The Ukrainian stops him here 20 yards inside the Everton half. Throw in to Doncaster Rovers. Everton's first shot on target coming in stoppage time at the end of the first half, when they're already 1 goal down.
Yeah, it's the first time that Chermiti's been able to hold the ball up. He brings in Onana, gets a good strike in at goal. Low save with his feet from Ian Lawler. That's the first time he's been tested.
Ironside's proving to be a real handful here, and he's been fouled by Michael Keane. He was all action there. He was throwing himself into challenges, making a real nuisance of himself, and he's managed to get the free kick here, which is over by the corner flag. This corner flag from where the goal was mustered just a few minutes ago. Great noise and atmosphere inside the Eco Power Stadium. This is a team that haven't won in the league in these early games of the campaign, but their supporters have been treated to something special here, with their Premier League opponents being made to squirm. Free kick is taken short. Westbrook has it, gives it back to Molyneux. Dummies the cross, gives it back to Westbrook. Now it comes in, low and hard, and shot, and saved by Pickford to deny Tommy Rowe. It's not away, it ricochets back into the England goalkeeper's arms, and then he tries to blaze it away as the referee blows the whistle for half-time. Doncaster could have doubled their lead ahead of the break, and they get a standing ovation. They get heroes' applause as they make their way to the dugouts. But look at the Everton players' body language. They are slow, they are sauntering, the heads are down, and They are behind in this League Cup tie. Stephen Warnock, we've got a story on our hands.
Oh, we certainly have, and Doncaster fully deserve the lead going into half-time. Possession-wise, they've dominated. Chances created, they've dominated. Pressure that they put on Everton, they've overrun them in midfield, in forward areas. Overall, Doncaster have been outstanding. Everton well below par, and their struggles continue.
Well, we don't have the benefit of any action replays in our radio commentary position here at the tight Eco Power Stadium press box, but I've been told, Steve Crossfield, that the goal might have been offside. I don't know if you've been able to see it, but some suggestion that Everton might have been done a disservice. I mean, you know, when you're down, this is the kind of thing that happens to you, isn't it?
Well, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in that dressing room with Sean Dyche anyway, but after he sees the replay, it will be even worse, because Joe Ironside was offside, and it's one of those where, you know, it's not but for VAR, it's one of those where the referee's assistant probably should have seen it. However, Stephen Warnock, I'm going to chuck that out, because Doncaster Rovers deserve to be ahead, don't they?
Yeah, they do, Steve. They've been superb. They've set themselves up in a shape that has made it very difficult for Everton to play out from the back. They've gone direct. They haven't been able to hold the ball up, but that's all been from Doncaster's good shape and the work rate, but also as well having composure to play on the ball, trying to find players in space. They understand what the game plan was tonight. I can see a game plan from Doncaster. I don't see one from Everton.
That is exactly what I was thinking watching it, Stephen. 35 minutes. That's how long it took Everton to have a touch inside the Doncaster Rovers penalty area.
And that was the long ball up.
Yeah,
so it comes from a long free kick into the box. It's not even creating an opportunity, Steve. And that's my big thing when I watch Everton at the moment is, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get wingers on the ball in 1v1 situations? Well, if you are, how do you do that? You've got Dobbin and Danjuma down the sides. How do you get them in situations where they're 1v1 in wide areas? Are you working on that in training, or is it all about being organised and compact and trying to win a game 1-0 and being hard to play against? What do you want to try and achieve? And at the moment, I'm not really seeing either of those things.
And against a team from League Two, who, with all due respect to Doncaster Rovers, have been absolutely brilliant in that first half, it should be really, really worrying for an Everton fan, shouldn't it? Not just the scoreline, but against the team bottom of the Football League, if you're a Premier League team and you watch them for 45 minutes and you don't know what they're trying to do, let alone what they are doing.
No, it's really poor, Steve. And the thing for me is that you should be able to look on the pitch and say, wow, I see it with him. I see that quality of the Everton player. That's why he's in the Premier League. At the moment, I'm watching thinking, I don't see any quality. I don't see anyone. The only one you see every now and again is Danjuma. When he faces someone up, he's got that blistering pace. He's got that quick footwork. Anana's he's wasting his talent for me in midfield. He's so talented, but he's a 1 in 7 game player. He'll turn up every now and again. He'll put in a performance where you go, wow, there it is. That's what he's capable of. But every single game, he should be at that level, because he's a young lad. He's fully capable. He should be dominating this midfield for his stature and his ability, but he doesn't. And that's the problem with Everton. They don't have enough big game players who dominate games, who want to dominate games and want to showcase how good a player they are and why they play in the Premier League.
Outstanding first half for Doncaster Rovers of League Two, who lead Everton by 1-0. Other scores for you just starting the second half in these games: Sheffield United 0, Lincoln 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 0, Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 4, and Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Let's get the latest then, because the half-time whistle has gone in the Philips Stadion. PSV Eindhoven against Rangers in the second leg of the Champions League playoff. Gavin Wallace.
Yes, the PSV Eindhoven 1, Rangers 0, 3-2 on aggregate to the hosts, and to be honest, it was all one-way traffic. It was an Ismail Sabari 35th minute goal, his first in the Champions League this season, is the difference between the two teams. And to be honest, Steve, it was a matter of when and not if for the hosts. The vast majority of that half, I say, was all one-way traffic. The hosts having a plethora of chances, Rangers really only having one of note on the notepad. That came on 31 minutes. Cyril Dessers threw on goal but screwed the shot well wide from inside the box. That goal though came in the 35th minute, as we say. It was a great header. The ball in was absolutely delightful, and Ismail Sabari was never going to miss from there. A couple of minutes before that, he came really close, from close range. Jack Butland from about 7 or 8 yards out had to get down with the left foot and save extremely smartly as well. And on 20 minutes, Luke de Jong really should have scored from a header, a Bakayoko cross towards the back post. The goalkeeper couldn't come for it. 3 Rangers defenders were completely out-jumped by Luke de Jong, who closed his eyes, and really, Steve, he should have scored. It could be 2 or 3 to the visitors, but it's still alive for Rangers at half-time. PSV Eindhoven 1, Rangers 0, 3-2 on aggregate.
Well, we've got Pat Nevin with us all night, of course, probably with half an eye on Chelsea, Pat, but even if you'd looked away for 20 minutes, you would have done well to have found a Rangers attack there.
Yeah, I actually think they started the first 5 or 10 minutes quite well. They tried to be really physical. They're quite lucky they didn't get a couple of players booked. Referee let it go a little bit, but just as the game went on, just as Gavin was saying, the PSV have taken over, creating chances, not exactly at will, but fairly regularly. And at the moment, Rangers just seem to have one idea, and that is to try and break behind a quite high line of defence. Now, they will get 1 or 2 more chances in this game. Problem is, as we're seeing, they're giving away too many opportunities. Sabari, he should have scored, as Gavin was saying beforehand. He had a great chance, missed that one as well. But what really impressed me, they saw there was a mistake, a real problem at Rangers in the right back area. Tavernier's brilliant going forward, but they were stressing them early on. They were trying to play the ball behind them early on. They weren't getting any joy until they did. And when they finally got to the byline, little cross from Lang to that middle of the goal, nobody near Sabari coming in, but they knew where the weakness is, and they found it, and they made good use of it. Rangers, as you say, aren't out. I'm sure they will get chances, but if they lose another goal, they'll get problems.
So what do you think? You know, you've watched Mick Beale's Rangers for long enough now, Pat. Do you think he's likely to just try and stay in the game, stay in the tie until 70, 80, or change things dramatically now?
Steve, I don't think it's deliberate. I don't think he's doing it deliberate. He's trying to leave Matondo up. He's trying to leave Dessers up. And the way he's doing it, it's almost like he's trying to do maybe a diamond in the middle, Cantwell trying to get forward. But as the game is going on, you know, PSV have just passed around them. PSV look better technically on the ball constantly throughout the game. And you can tell the Rangers, and rightly so, they're trying to be as physical as they can to try and put them off the stride. They sadly haven't put them off the stride. And they've got a number of players that have really caught the eye. Lang on the left-hand side, he was the one who set up, he set up the pass for the goal that they scored, but also on the right-hand side, Bakayoko has put in some stunning crosses that Rangers have been lucky to get away with. So it's a tough night so far, but as you say, it's not over. I don't think he's sitting back. I don't think he's asked his team to do that. I just think they're being not exactly played off the park, but they are second best.
A much easier night for England at Chesterley Street, though, Ellie Oldroyd.
Very easy indeed. Liam Livingston finishing it off with a 6. He was 10 not out. Harry Brook left out of the provisional World Cup squad for the 50 over World Cup next month. 43 not out of 27 deliveries, including a couple of 6s as well from him. 54 for David Milanov, 42 as well. Really the core of the England run chase. 143 for 3 then when they finished it. 140 was the target, and it's been absolutely as easy as you like for England tonight. They've won by 7 wickets with 6 overs to spare, and I know it's the school holidays still, Steve, but there'll be a lot of kids here who'll be home before bedtime.
Ellie, thank you very much indeed. So we'll keep you up to date with the cricket and the US Open tennis. We've got more on that to come in a second. We're at that Champions League qualifier in Eindhoven as well, but our main focus is the EFL Cup tonight, this competition which can cause the most dramatic shocks, but not always, Naz Premji.
Absolutely not here. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 5. John Buckley with a penalty after Tronstadt was fouled in the box. Easy as you like for the Championship side. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 5.
We'll be back to Flushing Meadows, and then we've got second half commentary of Doncaster Rovers against Everton. Rovers leading by 1-0 in the second round of the EFL Cup. All of that to come after the news with Joe Critcher.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The independent inquiry into how the nurse Lucy Letby was able to murder 7 babies will now be able to compel witnesses to give evidence. Ministers have given it statutory powers after criticism from families of the victims. It didn't go far enough. The Prime Minister has also announced plans to force criminals in England and Wales to attend their sentencing hearings, including by force if necessary, after Lucy Letby refused to go to hers. Vaccines to protect those at risk groups against COVID and flu this winter will be rolled out a month earlier than planned in England because of the emergence of a new COVID variant. Vulnerable people will receive jabs from the 11th of September. The clean-up operation has begun in the US from Hurricane Idalia. More than 445,000 people are still without power in Florida and Georgia, and many places are flooded. And a 23-year-old man's been charged over a break-in at the home of Raheem Sterling during the World Cup. Jewellery and watches worth £300,000 were reportedly stolen. Emiliano Crozi from Southend in Essex has been remanded in custody.
Every football story starts with a first.
Football Firsts with Jermaine Defoe and Troy Deeney.
In this podcast, we will explore the football firsts that have shaped our career.
I don't think people understand how brutal it is to be able to live on a daily basis.
And shaped who we are as people.
All players have got egos, because if you don't, you get eaten alive.
You'll hear stories from the dressing room.
Joe Bellingham next to me. I got a biology test tomorrow. My heart's sunk.
About legends of the game.
You got Di Canio there, Canute, Trevor Sinclair. They were brilliant with me.
And the football first that propelled us into the Premier League.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Possible shock on the cards tonight at the Eco Power Stadium. League 2 Doncaster Rovers leading Everton by 1-0. Second half commentary on the way. We might yet have one or two other shocks. What about at Stamford Bridge? Chelsea against League 2 AFC Wimbledon. Chris Wise.
10 minutes into the second half, it might still happen. You never know. Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Both those goals in the first half by penalties from Tilly and Madueke. Pochettino, by the way, Steve, at half-time, he went down the tunnel before the end of the first half. He was obviously irritated. He's taken off Diego Moreira at half-time, so that debut lasted 45 minutes. Nicholas Jackson's on in his place. He's already had a chance in the second half. Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1.
All Premier League tie at the City Ground. Charlie Slater.
53 on the clock here, and it's Forest 0, Burnley 0. The second half has got to be better than the first. That said, we hardly got going again before a lengthy stoppage. Aaron Ramsey off injured on his first start for the club. Sander Berger is now on in his place, and we've got another lengthy stoppage now with another Burnley player down. Still 0-0.
And what about at Bramall Lane? Sheffield United against League 1 Lincoln City. Betty Glover.
Still goalless, nearly 58 on the clock. Second half has been mostly the home side. Sheffield United looking more lively. New signing Cameron Archer had a great opportunity to impress the home fans on his debut. He was in the area, one-on-one with the keeper, but his low shot was easily saved. Sheffield United 0, Lincoln 0.
Right, you can listen to our coverage of the US Open tennis on the BBC Sport website right now. Let's go to Flushing Meadows, where David Law, Novak Djokovic has just won.
Yeah, pretty straightforwardly, as you would expect. 6-4, 6-1, 6-1 against Bernardo Zapata Moraes of Spain, who's a good player, ranked inside the world's top 80, but there's just a totally different class of player that Novak Djokovic is. He's won 23 Grand Slam titles for a reason, and once the heat of the day and the sunshine on the court had dissipated, he was a much happier man, and those second two sets were very comfortable indeed. Iga Swiatek also through, the top seed and defending champion in the women's draw. 6-3, 6-4 for her over Daria Saville. Big shock in the men's draw with Stefanos Tsitsipas going out in 5 sets. He was 5-3 up in the fourth set, and then it turned around and his opponent Dominic Stricker knocked him out. And success across the board in the men's doubles for Great Britain today. The most recent winner being Lloyd Glasspool with his partner Harry Heliovara.
We also had the British qualifier Lily Miyazaki, her memorable run at the US Open coming to an end, losing to the Olympic champion Belinda Bencic. No shame in that. 6-3, 6-3. She'd never qualified for a Grand Slam main draw until she won 3 matches to reach the first round. And I know, David, it is a cliche to say, you know, it's an achievement just to be there, but it really is an achievement just to be there.
Yeah, it is. When you're ranked outside the world's top 150, it's not easy, and she had to go through the qualifying rounds, which is a tournament in itself. 3 matches won there, then a first round match as well. She was competitive today against Belinda Bencic, who's a very good player, but Miyazaki's 27 years of age and really only just starting her career because she spent 5 years in Oklahoma University on a tennis scholarship there. So maybe this is the start of some big things in the future.
And what about Lloyd Glasspool as well into the men's doubles second round?
Yeah, did very well alongside Harry Heliovara. They've become quite a staple partnership of the tour, and they were joined into the next round of the doubles by Julian Cash and Henry Patton, a British pair, and also Jamie Murray and Michael Venus, plus most recently Joe Salisbury as well with his American partner Rajiv Ram. So 4 doubles wins in the men's doubles to add to the 7 singles victories of the last couple of days.
Lovely stuff, David. Thank you very much, David Law, and the rest of the tennis team out of Flushing Meadows at the US Open. Remember, you can listen to commentary via the BBC Sport website. Here on 5 Live, we're just about ready for the second half to get underway. Doncaster Rovers of League 2 in the second round of the EFL Cup, leading Everton of the Premier League at the break. Stephen Warnock's with Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Steve. Right, we're about to get back underway. Both teams back out. Everton making 3 changes over half-time. I'm not enormously surprised. Sean Dyche had to do something, trailing by 1-0 against the club at the very bottom of the 92 of the Football League. So the headline piece of news is the new striker, Beto from Portugal, fee up to 30 million, only arrived yesterday. He comes on in place of Yusuf Chermeti, 19-year-old Portuguese player who just wasn't involved at all, couldn't get a purchase in the game. Let's see if Beto, who's joined from Udinese, can do any better. Idrissa Gueye has come into the midfield, and Ashley Young has come on as well. So we'll keep an eye on where they're all going to play. Looks like Ashley Young's going to play at right back. Mikolenko's still on the left-hand side.
He's not. He's playing right wing and Garner's playing right back. That's what I'm baffled at. I was just watching it then thinking, why is Ashley Young playing right wing and Garner's playing right back?
Well, let's keep an eye on that and see if it settles down that way. Everton playing from left to right as we look down now in their blue and white. Doncaster Rovers in the red and white, still celebrating Joe Ironside's goal in the latter stages of the first half that has really electrified this cup tie, and has us scrambling through the record books and looking for Everton's worst cup defeats of all time, because those things could be in the news headlines tomorrow. The way things are shaping up, Sean Dyche's team have 45 minutes here to try and put things straight and to try and stamp their Premier League authority. So I'll give you a rundown of the teams in just a moment, but it's Ironside's goal, familiar name from his exploits at Cambridge when he knocked out Newcastle 2 seasons ago. Here they come down the left-hand side. Doncaster crossing position, low ball in. Tommy Rose arriving at the edge of the penalty area, but it's taken away from him, and a first touch in Everton goal is for Beto, and he's a big strong boy and he wins a free kick. And it was Joseph Aloa who's the defender holding on to him.
That's better from Beto, straight away. Give them someone to hold the ball up. Holds it up well, strong, and buys the free kick straight away. That's going to have to be a difference for Everton in this game.
So I think it's James Garner who's gone off, and Dobbin who's gone off for Idrissa Gueye and Young, and then Beto has replaced Chermiti up top. It's the same Doncaster Rovers team that started the night. Ian Lawler, the goalkeeper. Bailey, Jack Senior, Joseph Aloa, the defenders, with James Maxwell, who's come forward with regularity down the left-hand side. Luke Molyneux, who's been electrifying on the right wing. Then Zane Westbrook, George Broadbent, Tommy Rowe in the middle. And then Mo Fall alongside the goal scorer, Joe Ironside up front. Here come Everton. Beto, number 14 on his back. Rolls it to Ashley Young on the right-hand side. The two substitutes combining. Low delivery in for the former England international. Then Beto commits a foul. And that's going to be a free kick. And a chance for Doncaster to relieve pressure. Right, well, he's making himself known. He's putting his weight around. He's creating an impact so far. Beto, the Everton career is up and running.
Yeah, he's done more in the first couple of minutes, 3 minutes, than Chermeti did in the first half. So that is positive from Everton's point of view. The Everton fans will like what they've seen so far. I know it's very early, but straight away you can see the hunger and the desire to make an impact.
1-0 to Doncaster Rovers. Ironside, the goal scorer, wins a header, flicking it on to Fowl. He goes down looking for a free kick. Referee says play on because it's rolled back to Ironside again into the penalty area. Tries to cut it back, blocked by Garner, and that goes out for a corner kick. Corner to Doncaster on the left-hand side as they come forward.
He's like Paolo one-shot Fowl, isn't he? Just that unassuming, like gangly legs, telescopic legs. You don't think he's quite going to get there. Then he manages to just pull out a leg and put Doncaster back on the ascendancy and win his team a corner.
The goal came right at the end of the first half. It came from a corner. This one again is rolled to the edge of the penalty area. Broadbent gets it back again for the second time, fancies it, puts the laces through it, and then diving down to his right hand side, Jordan Pickford makes the save. Pickford, who's Everton's captain tonight.
Surely at half-time you look at the first goal, or the goal, and you say 2v1s, 3v2s, stop it happening from corners. Straight away, 3v2 situation down the side, and I'm thinking, someone else come out and help, someone come and stop that happening. They haven't learnt, Everton.
It is proving to be a steep learning curve for Sean Dyche. A difficult job when he came in to take over midway through last season. Mission was to keep Everton in the Premier League at all costs. They stayed up by a hair's breadth. Doucouré's goal on the last day of the season, keeping Everton in the top flight. Now, new campaign was supposed to be different, pushing on, expanding. But it feels like Everton, if anything, have retracted. You look at their early performances, still to score a goal this season. Here's Beto controlling it with his shin pad. It's come back to him fortuitously. A low is brushed aside. Beto gets in the penalty area. Here's a ball in. Ashley Young heads it down, comes off the shoulder of the defender, Jack Senior. Doncaster clear away. Ironside is going to sprint. Keane had a head start on him. Michael Keane gives it back to Pickford, and the Everton goalkeeper clears it away out to Garner on the right-hand side. I think I said mistakenly earlier that Garner got off. It was Patterson who went off at half-time. Here's Idrissa Gana Gueye, one of the substitutes who've come on. This is a team that you would expect Everton to field in the Premier League. They are behind against the club at the bottom of the fourth tier, and they've given away possession again. Cheers from the Doncaster fans as it rolls through to the goalkeeper Ian Lawler, away to our right-hand side. So this was an 8 o'clock kickoff. They are well into the second half of the City Ground. Nottingham Forest against Burnley. Here's Charlie Slater with the latest.
Yeah, 63 minutes on the clock. We had a lengthy stoppage. It is still 0-0 between Forest and Burnley. Hjalmar Ekdal had to be carried off on a stretcher, right leg in a brace after trying to block a shot from Ryan Yates. Looked like a really nasty injury. Still goalless here. Maxwell plays it forward for Doncaster. Ironside always the willing runner, but this one beats him to the penalty area, and it rolls into the grasp of Jordan Pickford. Everton trying to come forward again. Flick off by Beto towards Ashley Young. Ashley Young, who's playing, this is like a throwback here, up as a right winger. Sits coming on Ashley Young with Beto in the middle, Danjuma on the left-hand side. They're the front three at the moment for Everton. But here come Doncaster, who've got that wonderful intangible in football, momentum. They've got belief. They've got a goal that has them in front against Premier League opposition. And now the question is, are they going to be able to hold on to it as Mikalenko attacks down the left-hand side, leans back as he sends in a cross. Beto made a run to the front post, cross-sailed over his head and goes out for a throw into Doncaster.
But there's been more purpose about Everton. They've got more injection of pace into the team. You can see that from the outset. It's been better. It's not been great, but it's been better from Everton.
Sean Dyche knows all about giant killings in cup competitions. As a player, he was the captain of Chesterfield when they were in the third tier and they got to the FA Cup semi-finals in 1997, eventually losing to Middlesbrough after a replay. And here, he's the manager of the big boys, the Premier League side, up against Doncaster Rovers of League Two. Beto, so many touches since coming on. I mean, he has looked good, you have to say it. And here he is, hustling for possession again, trying to barge his way into the penalty area. And he's barged a bit too forcefully there. He's collided with, I think it's Jack Senior who's gone down, and he's going to need some treatment. We mentioned the physicality of Beto. Defenders bouncing off him there, and he went cannoning into Jack Senior, who's lying down at the edge of the penalty area.
Liking what I'm seeing though. I like it straight away. Wants to get involved in the game. Coming off, little one and two touch layoffs, then the ability to receive the ball, turn, drive at players, and he absolutely emptied him, didn't he? He took him out, no prisoners at all, and he bounced back up himself.
Back to the Avaro bench, back to Naz Premji watching Harrogate Town against Blackburn Rovers.
Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 6. Zach Gilsenan with a lovely free kick edge of the area. Best goal of the night. The substitutes made it 6-0 to Blackburn Rovers.
Thanks very much, Naz. You know, you look on paper, international quality of players who've played at major tournaments, players who've won trophies in the past, and that sort of 6-0 scoreline is not unfeasible to what Everton should have been expecting to have here, but it rarely works out that way in football. And when you don't have momentum, and when you're bottom of the Premier League, and when questions have been asked, when new signings are struggling to settle in, and when established players are injured, well, it can all feel very insurmountable. At the moment, Everton on their way out of the League Cup at the very first hurdle, trailing as they do by 1-0 away at Doncaster. Beto tries to take it down again. Everton players have realised this guy's got something about him, and time again now it's been played directly up to him. Here's Zane Westbrook for Doncaster. He tries to get it forward to Mo Fall. Fall is dispossessed by Idrissa Gueye there, who we know is so good at doing that, making little interceptions, does it all the time in the Premier League. He's going to give more solidity to the base of the Everton midfield, you would imagine. Garner on the right hand side touches it into Godfrey. Body language from Godfrey there uncomfortable. He's waving his arms. He's suggesting he wanted better options to pass to there, as Everton have to hold on to at the back. Garner rolls it short to Ashley Young, wearing the white boots. Jack Senior leaning into it. Young gets the head up, looks for support. Decore provides it, ball straight out of play. Possession back to Doncaster Rovers. Still Doncaster 1, Everton 0.
Well, you're saying Godfrey's looking for movement, he's looking for a pass. Everyone's static, everyone's stood still. It's far too easy for Doncaster to defend against, because they know they can just push up against players, and it's a straight ball from them.
Doncaster have had 3 different managers in the last 12 months. Gary McSheffrey, Denny Schofield, Grant McCann's back again. Here they come on the attack. Chance for foul. Shoots at the penalty spot. Saved away, and again Everton hanging on here as Doncaster look for the second goal and the chance to turn the screw. Molineux twisting and turning up against Issa Gay. He sends a ball into the penalty area. There's hesitation there for Pickford. Foul wins a header, but it bounces off Michael Keane and into the body of the goalkeeper. Well, Everton have hearts in their mouths there, and Doncaster causing havoc inside the Everton penalty area, but they can't get the ball in the back of the net, and it remains Doncaster 1, Everton 0.
Well, but for a magnificent block from, I think it was Garner Gay, who manages to get himself across. That is a goal-saving challenge, and it could have easily been 2-0 to Doncaster.
Goal in Eindhoven. PSV Eindhoven against Rangers tonight in the Champions League playoff. Here's Gavin Wallace.
53 on the clock. Corner, Ismail Sabari again. It's a 2-yard tap in. Luke Jejong at the back post, stretching to get the ball across, and Pat Evan. Rangers on the ropes now.
Absolutely on the ropes. They're probably out of their own half in this second half. They need to do something different. Michael Beale has to shake it up, change their personnel, change the system, anything at all. Right now they look as if they're going out and they're 2-0 down. It could be a lot worse.
PSV Eindhoven 2, Rangers 0, 4-2 on the night. Connor.
Thanks very much. A little moment here that sums up the game, I feel. There was a ball trickling out for a corner. Would have been an Everton corner. Molineux, incredible work rate, sprinted back 30 yards to get there. We had the perfect angle where we're sitting. He hit it against the quarter flag, and it went out on the corner side. It should have been a corner to Everton. The referee, from a different angle, running further back, wasn't able to see it and gave it through it. It's little things like that. The work rate from Doncaster and Everton not getting the rub of the green, and you combine it all, and that's why Sean Dyche is in trouble here. 4th game of the season. His team have still to score a goal. They're trailing 1-0 here. Mikolenko into the penalty area. Not good enough. Too high. Easily claimed by Ian Lawler. Beto is in there. He's huge, but he can't get to that. Too high.
Yeah, 3 or 4 moments where Mikolenko's got to the touchline and looked to put crosses into the box. The quality simply hasn't been there from him. He's been poor tonight. He's struggled in the game. That's a foul. Oh, he's not give it. How's he not give that? Foul, clear foul on Onana.
Shake of the head from referee Tom Reeves. And Jack Senior slow to get back to his feet just outside the penalty area that Doncaster Rovers are defending. So play will resume, presumably with the throw into Doncaster. There's 57 minutes of the clock. This second half is actually going past very quickly. We've had 12 minutes already. Beto's come on, he's thrown himself around. The experience of Idrissa Gay, of Ashley Young. Can Everton get the equaliser? Can they go and win this game? And even one goal, Doncaster would still be with a huge chance. Throw in for Doncaster, right down below us. James Maxwell, a former Rangers player, moved to Doncaster a year ago. He takes his time over this throw in now. Number 3 on his back, down the left wing. Flicked on by Joe Ironside, the man who scored the goal at the back end of the first half. Last touch came off an Evertonian. That'll be another throw into Doncaster. They move further incrementally up the pitch. Maxwell's throw is infield this time. Broadbent sends it forward. Ironside reacted quicker than Godfrey, but the reason was because Godfrey was holding his line in order to catch Joe Ironside offside. Free kick to Everton, they've taken it quickly. James Garner sprints up to the halfway line. His attempted ball forward is cut out by Maxwell. Maxwell's good at that. He's done that a few times tonight. He's cut out attempted through balls from Evertonians. This is Idrissa Gueye. Back to Michael Keane. 10 yards inside his own penalty area. Plays a little 1-2 with Idrissa Gueye once again. Now he tries to get it going through the midfield, but it was left by Decore. I think he thought Bennett was behind him. Cleared away by Olowu for Doncaster, but Everton get it back. This is Onana. Garner's taken off on a run down the right-hand side, and tracking that all the way was Broadbent, and he's got himself into a muddle here. Garner into the penalty area, saving the day. Joseph Olowu sweeping across and putting it out for a throw.
Oh, the covering in this shape has been magnificent from Doncaster, making sure if one player falls down, the next one's there to recover, to help his teammates. Been really impressive.
Last time we heard from Nas Premji, Blackburn Rovers had 6 away at Harrogate Town. There's another goal, Nas.
Another 2, actually. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 8. On debut, Thomas blocks them, and just a minute ago, James Edmondson's fired in. It is a rout now. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 8, and still 15 minutes to go here. We could get to double figures.
Goals there, but no great cup shock. Chelsea, who went behind early on against AFC Wimbledon, and they'll have, what, 20 minutes or so to go, Chris Wise?
And the shock is slowly dissipating because Chelsea has spun it around. They're leading 2-1. It's really unfortunate. Is Alex Bass, the AFC Wimbledon goalkeeper. He's cleared it into a Chelsea player. It's then hit one of his own players. It's deflected to one of Chelsea's substitutes, Enzo Fernandez, who took his time outside the box and then swept it into an empty net. Chelsea 2, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Yeah, Bass was scrambling back across. He hasn't put a foot wrong all game. He's been excellent, very confident in his box, and feel good for him that drop to him. But listen, if you can bring on a £100 million World Cup winner into a game like this, you've got a chance of winning it, don't you?
Yeah, and I think AFC Wimbledon to an extent will be smiling about that, the fact that that's what Chelsea have needed to essentially and potentially see them off. We're in the 74th minute now. Chelsea 2, AFC Wimbledon 1.
No goals at the City Grounder at Bramall Lane. 1-0 here at the Eco Power Stadium. Doncaster Rovers maybe on the verge of some history, still leading Everton by a goal to nil, having never beaten a Premier League club since moving to this stadium in 2007. Everton, who lost to Shrewsbury famously in the FA Cup in 2003. Shrewsbury, who were towards the bottom of the 4th tier back then, but they weren't quite bottom of the table as Doncaster are now. These are worrying moments for Everton, and despite a definite improvement since half-time, it was woeful in the first half, improvement, still not good enough, Steve Moore.
No, it's not at the moment. And I'm just watching the back line now, and they're looking for players. All the Everton players are stood up against Doncaster players, man for man, just in their eye line. There's no movement, there's no rotation to try and find space, and it is very, very frustrating for the Everton fans.
A reminder, more live football coming up on Saturday. Burnley against Tottenham is the pick of the games for Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton at 3 o'clock. We'll also bring you a commentary of Brighton against Newcastle, that's at 5:30. And on Sunday, Old Firm time, Rangers against Celtic from 12 noon. And we'll have commentary of Liverpool against Arsenal at 2, and Liverpool against Aston Villa at 2, and a big one at 4:30, Arsenal hosting Manchester United. That's all to come live on 5 Live. Here is Mo Fowl just outside the penalty area that Doncaster Rovers attacked, but shut down immediately by Idrissa Gueye. Doncaster Rovers regain possession, back with Jack Senior. He'll roll it to Joseph Olowu. The performance of Doncaster tonight completely belies the start to the season that they've had. They've had 4 defeats, 1 draw from their opening 5 league games. Their only victory they've had in any competition was when they beat Hull last month in the first round of this competition. But you look at them tonight, I mean, this is the definition of raising your game. When you know you've got a high profile game and everyone is trying so hard here, the effort being put in man to man by Doncaster has been so impressive.
It has, and do you know when teams are under pressure, and usually a League One or a League Two team in this competition against Premier League team, and they're just looking to clear the ball aimlessly up the pitch, that's Everton tonight. Whenever they're under pressure, there's not a way out of the situation. There isn't a ball up top that gets them out of the pressure situation. They're just lumping it long, and it's very, very poor.
Advertising board all around the stadium is advertising a message. It says visit Doncaster, which I don't think Everton fans are going to want to do anytime soon, given the way this has gone so far tonight. Ball in from a free kick into the penalty area. Maxwell tries to hook it on the edge of the D, but chance of a breakaway for Everton. Onana sprints with long strides, but he's stopped. It was Broadbent sliding in, putting it out for a throw in on the far side. That's where Doncaster have been so good. Any opportunity for Everton, invariably they've been able to shut it down early before it becomes a major threat.
Yeah, Westbrook and Broadbent in the middle of midfield have just dovetailed so well in that position to make sure that anything that is beating one player, the other one's mopping it up.
Garner, chance to cross on the right hand side, bounced up nicely for him. That's a good header out by Olowu, because Beto was arriving and Decore was in there too. There was aerial threat from Everton, and Olowu managed to get there first and head the ball away. Here comes Ashley Young operating in a more central position now. Gives it to Garner again on the right hand side. If you missed our coverage earlier on, the goal came from Joe Ironside before half time. And television replays have suggested it shouldn't have been allowed. It should have been offside. No VAR in these early rounds of the League Cup at the lower league teams, as a cross comes in and a header from Beto, and he couldn't get firm touch on it, and it's an easy save for the goalkeeper. So, you know, people who don't like VAR, and there is much to criticise about it, but it's nights like tonight when a clear offside goal should or shouldn't have stood. You know, that is when it does come in very handy. I think Evertonians would have wished there was VAR here tonight in that respect. Here's the goal scorer, Joe Ironside, out-muscled by Michael Keane, helped out by Ben Godfrey. Nearly loses it on the halfway line, though. Everything's so difficult for Everton at the moment. Just the little movements proving to be arduous. Here is Idrissa Ganagay bringing the ball out of defence. Lime green boots. Passes it up to Onana. Onana's got Luke Molineux climbing all over him, but he plays a smart 1-2, and then he rolls the ball in front of Mikalenko. Mikalenko into the penalty area, and it could have gone in for an own goal, but it flicks up over the goalkeeper, up over the crossbar, and out for a corner off Joseph Olowu, who's been very busy in this second half.
Yeah, he had to make contact on him, and he just had his heart in his mouth thinking, is this going to go into the top corner? Ian Lawler in the Doncaster goal was just hoping that it was going to fly over the top of the crossbar, and it does. That's better from Everton. Little 1-2 down the left hand side with Mikalenko, who finally puts a quality ball into the middle.
You might be just tuning in, maybe you've just got in the car, maybe you've just flicked on through BBC Sounds on your phone, and you're wondering what all the fuss is about tonight at the Eco Power Stadium. Well, Doncaster Rovers, who are the very bottom club of the Football League, of the 92 clubs, they are ranked bottom at the moment. They are leading Everton by 1-0. Everton corner, swung in from the right-hand side by Garner. Header by Onana in there, who's hurt his face in the process. He's slow to get back up to his feet, but he does get back up. Doncaster need to push out here. Why are they so slow? Idrissa Ganagay plays it forward, right-footed ball into the penalty area for Everton, hooked away by Zane Westbrook, and the huge roar from the home supporters to get their players to push out. Maybe for the first time, a few signs of fatigue for the League Two team now. They were slow to react after that corner kick was cleared away, and there's still a fair way to go here. We've a quarter of this match remaining. Doncaster better not be getting tired yet.
No, it's early doors, isn't it, to be feeling that fatigue. They haven't had as much possession in this second half, which makes it easier on your legs, but this has been really difficult for them. So in the last probably 10 or so minutes,
one goal between them here, scored by Joe Ironside. There's been a goal in Eindhoven. Rangers in their Champions League qualifying playoff second leg. Gavin Wallace will tell us about it.
They had pulled one back on the 63, but the 63rd minute corner, James Tavernier with a tap in at the back post from Sam Lammers. He received the ball in from Cantwell, but literally just before you came to us there, Luke de Jong has headed home from close range, and it now could be all over for Rangers. It's 5-3 on aggregate, 3-1 on the night, Pat Nevin.
You know what, they changed it. They brought on a man who changed the game completely for them. But I think PSV seemed to take their foot off the gas when they needed to put it on again. Got a goal seconds later. What a shame. Rangers were in it, but only momentarily.
PSV Eindhoven 3, Rangers 1, 5-3 on aggregate now, Connor.
Thanks very much to Gavin and to Pat. We're midway through the second half at the Eco Power Stadium. Still Doncaster Rovers leading Everton by 1-0. The goal from Joe Ironside, the former Cambridge United player who's got a history of troubling the big boys in cup competitions. Everton, I'm just thinking, having made those 3 changes at half-time, Stephen, Neil Maupay is the only attacking player left on the bench. I mean, he's got defenders like Tarkovsky and Brantwaite on there as at the goalkeeper. An offside flag is raised just as Ashley Young thought he might have been in to shoot, but Beto, as he played the ball in, the flag shot up.
It was actually out of play, Connor. He actually ran it out of play, Beto, but the pace of Beto then, he knocked it. He probably had 7 yards to gain on James Maxwell, and he just burst past him without even getting out of stride. It was brilliant to see. He's going to be quick and dangerous in behind.
I think he's going to be good to watch in the Premier League, isn't he? I mean, but, you know, he's, as with all strikers, it's his goal record that is going to be the judge, but he certainly is keen. He is putting himself around. He's chasing down lost causes. And he's not just staying in the middle, he'll go to the wings, he'll come deep, he's hungry to be involved as much as he can, and you feel that's what Everton need as much as anything at the moment. Here he is again, possession inside the centre circle. Oh dear, curse to the commentator as he gives it away. The short pass to Onana, cut out by Westbrook.
Typical.
It's
just one of those things, isn't it?
I built you up, Beto, and you let me down. Darkened skies overhead, there was brightness in the air, and we kicked off in this late August evening. Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Quite a story brewing here, though. Luke Molineux outfoxed by Mikalenko, who's beginning to warm into the game now and showing the quality that he should have. Not a great pass there, by the way. And Ashley Young was cleaned out as he bravely got a touch on. Young gets up, play continues. Danjuma can't keep the ball in play. And the big cheer is from the Doncaster fans as another Everton attack peters out. Sean Dyche goes over to a cooler, an icebox. He takes out a bottle of water, screws off the lid, has a swig, roars in his gravelly voice. But he can't believe what he's seeing here. 4 games in, no goals yet. There's a big cheer around the stadium as the home side make a change. Tyler Roberts, who's on loan from Wolverhampton Wanderers, is going to come on in place of the captain. Tommy Rowe, who sent in the cross that led to the goal that separates the teams. He's the player who makes way, and on comes Tyler Roberts. So, interesting to see what this does to their formation now. Can Doncaster keep up the work rate that has proved them well so far?
Well, I think Luke Molineux just moves inside into that position where Tommy Rowe was, just ahead of the midfield too. He'll be the creative player in behind the front two of Ironside and Mo Fall, and then Tyler Roberts will move out onto that right hand side.
Tyler Roberts, who's yet to make a senior appearance for his parent club Wolves, but he has featured in of 3 of Doncaster's league games so far this new season. Let's see what impact he can make, because Molineux had done very well out on that right wing up until now. Broadbent, neat and strong in the midfield. Westbrook, those two combining well, as Stephen mentioned a few minutes ago. The direct ball is towards Ironside, cut out by Ben Godfrey. Everton get it back, and James Garner comes over the halfway line on the right hand side. Tried to play it in low to the feet of Beto, but that was telegraphed. Intercepted by Jack Senior. Not a great pass out to Roberts for his first touch having come on, and Mikalenko's able to nip in and win it back for Everton. Here's a chance into the penalty area. Ashley Young pulls it back. Danjuma back to goal. Beto with the dreadful shot. He was off balance, but he's kicked it 10-12 yards wide. Dreadful from Beto, who we have praised since coming on. But if anything sums up Everton's current predicament, it's what their new £30 million striker just did there.
Awful, absolutely awful. He must have left his shooting boots in Udinese, because they mustn't have made it through. That was shocking. It really was. You've had to put your mic down, Connor, because you can't contain yourself.
Deary me. That was his chance. He's looked bright, he's looked hungry. Comes to him, round about the penalty spot. All he's got to do is hit it on target. And not just wide. Way wide.
He hit it towards the 18-yard box, towards the corner flag. It was that far wide. That was horrendous.
Dreadful. But as I said, just sums up Everton. This is what it's like being, watching Everton games this season. This is what it's been. Here's Ashley Young, who's now out on the left-hand side. Onana plays it forward. It's a good run by Beto. Can he make amends here? In around the back of the goalkeeper, and he does score. That's more like it. He makes amends for his fluffed effort a moment ago. It's a debut goal for Beto. Everton fans celebrate, because for the first time this season their team has scored a goal. Beto, the new hero of the blue side of Merseyside.
Well, who's laughing now? What a goal that is from Beto. Turn of pace in behind. Goalkeeper comes, he's stranded, he's in no man's land, and he just pokes it round him into an empty goal. Quality from Beto. That's what they paid for. It wasn't the first finish, but the second finish is magnificent.
It has taken to the 73rd minute, but Everton score against Doncaster. There's a delay in play for an injury. Both sets of players are going to come across and get a drink and have a little impromptu team talk. Right, for the first time this campaign, Sean Dyche has something to build on now. It looks like he's going to make another change and bring on one of his more experienced players. James Tarkowski is getting ready for his introduction. Grant McCann, the Doncaster coach, who we spoke to down on the touchline before the game, and he spoke about what respect he has for Sean Dyche. You know, looking at his body language at the moment, he's doing downward motions with his hands. It's almost like he's telling his players to calm down a little bit, trust the process that has got them so far in this game. There's no doubt that's a setback, but you wouldn't point to an individual error. It was just a well-taken goal by the Premier League club.
It really was. It was a lovely ball down the side, in behind. Great run from Beto. Again, he gives the defender 3 or 4 yards, but such is the pace. It draws Lawler out of his goal. He thinks he might get there before Beto. He's getting nowhere near it. Such is the pace of Beto. And then the calmness, the presence of mind to see the goalkeeper and then just to slot it past him.
The moon has just come out behind a cloud away to the right-hand side. Is it a new dawn for Everton? Is it finally a kick-starting of their season? It's the super blue moon, I believe, tonight. The different moons at different times of the year. It's the blue moon, and how significant that it would happen just as Everton score their first goal of the season, the team in blue. Right, we still haven't got back underway after the goal, so while we're waiting for that, let's go check in on the bench. Nottingham Forest against Burnley with Charlie Slater.
It's still goalless, but Steve Cooper has just broken glass in case of emergency and has got Taiwo Awoniyi off the bench. Scored 7 in his last 7. On he comes. He's got a few minutes to stop this game from being sent to the jeopardy of a penalty shootout. Still goalless.
Yes, we could have penalty shootouts to come. 0-0 there, the City Ground. 0-0 at Bramall Lane 2, Sheffield United against Lincoln City. And 1-1 here, Doncaster Rovers against Everton. Ben Godfrey has possession and he can't control it, and the ball goes out of play right in front of Grant McCann down there, who's hopping with joy as the ball goes out for a throw-in to Doncaster. And Everton might have got one back, but they're not out of the woods yet. Next goal is key, if indeed we get one between now and the end of the 90 minutes. Ball down the left wing from Maxwell goes straight out of play for a throw-in to Everton.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of personnel. Tarkowski coming on at the back alongside Michael Keane. Ben Godfrey into the right back position. Ashley Young now into the left back position. Garner back out onto the right hand side. So much changed again in the second half for Everton in positions.
So offside flag is raised pretty much bang on the halfway line. I mean, you can't be offside inside your own half, so it's a few inches inside the opposition half. But Mo Fall had strayed. Everton take the free kick. New urgency about them now. They definitely want to get this done if they can in the 90 minutes. Bottom of the Premier League, taking on bottom of League 2. Onana, midway inside. Doncaster Rovers half gives it to Idrissa Gana Gueye. He turns back in himself in front of Zane Westbrook. Back into Onana. Turns, twists, plays it low towards the feet of Beto, but it's not a good pass. Easily picked off by Jack Senior. Doncaster Rovers have got it back. Let's see what Mo Fall can do here. Tries to get it over the top of Keane. What a ball that is. Ironsides onto it. Into the penalty area for Doncaster Rovers. Keane gets back in position. Then there's a challenge on the edge of the penalty area by Onana. Referee shakes his head, turns and runs away. Appeals for a penalty, fall on deaf ears as Everton come down the other end. Danjuma in front of Beto, who's already scored since coming on as the substitute. But this time he can't get the shot away. He needs the support of Doucouré. Everton still have it. They're on the attack. This is Ashley Young. Back to Idrissa Gana Gueye. Lovely reverse ball to Young. Into the penalty area. Shoots right footed. Palmed away by the goalkeeper Lawler. And cheers from the fans as Doncaster clear. And it's still 1-1. But Everton have gone up a gear now. Ashley Young, who's been impressive since coming on, sends in another cross. This one's headed away by Owen Bailey. Doncaster hanging on now. They're clearing the ball, but they're not holding on to it in the midfield. Danjuma, poor touch on the edge of the box, picked up by James Maxwell. He clears to Ironside. Now can he give the defence some relief? Over comes Michael Keane to challenge him. That's good from Ironside. It moves play back into the Everton half, and it's a Doncaster Rovers throw, and we've got 12.5 minutes of normal time to play.
What a shift Ironside has put in up front. He's ran the channels, he's held the ball up, he's won his team's corners, free kicks, and this time he wins his team a throw-in when it's much needed. His team are under pressure.
1-1. 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the Carabao Cup second round, and there has been a late goal at the City Ground. Will this prevent the penalties? Charlie Slater.
In the 90th minute, Burnley in front. The substitute Zeki Amdouni with a tap-in from 5 yards out. A brilliant run that led to that, though. Burnley in front by a goal to nil. We're into 11 minutes of stoppage time.
Okay, 11, so maybe it's not done and dusted just yet. We'll be back to Charlie if there's any developments there. here at the Eco Power Stadium. 1-1. Joe Ironside for Doncaster Rovers. Beto on his debut. He only arrived yesterday from Udinese. He had missed a dreadful shot just, we were talking 20-30 seconds before his goal. He missed an absolute howler, but then he made amends with Everton's first goal of this new season. Throw in on the far side to Everton. Goal of the Champions League qualifying playoffs. Here's Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, it's another goal for PSV Eindhoven, Connor. 4-1 now against Rangers, 6-3 on the night now. They're just doing a double check-in for VAR to make sure that there wasn't an offside in the build-up. It has been confirmed now, though. PSV Eindhoven 4, Rangers 1, and it was Joey Veerman from just inside the box.
Thanks very much, Gavin. So, hushed mood around the Eco Power Stadium. These Doncaster Rovers fans have been given a real treat tonight. Their team have played above themselves, up against Premier League opposition. They've been so brave tonight. They've scored their goal ahead of the half-time. They've led for so long. Now they've got a test, a real challenge to keep Everton at bay for these closing stages and maybe force the penalty shootout. Who knows, maybe Doncaster go and nick one themselves before the end. Fal's going to try to here. Running into put pressure on Tarkowski. Oh, he's done really well. Mo Fal gets it away from Tarkowski. Midway inside the Everton half, but he can't take them all on. He's challenging. The loose ball falls to George Broadbent. Broadbent in the lime green boots. Clever ball out to the right hand side to Tyler Roberts on loan from Wolves. Tries to step over, but he tackles himself as much as anything. He was all flurry of feet, but he didn't keep his eye on what he was doing, and Everton are able to clear away. And then down goes Decore, and that's a free kick to Everton. Not quite waving imaginary yellow cards, but Decore is looking at the referee with those eyes. No card shown, though. Free kick to Everton just over the halfway line.
They've struggled, Doncaster, since they've moved Molyneux from that right hand side. They don't quite have that outlet that they had in the first half as Everton come forward.
Full time at Bramall Lane, Sheffield United against Lincoln City. Benny Glover.
At full time, it's goalless. Despite some late pressure from Sheffield United, they just could not score. Just before the whistle, they had their biggest chance of the half, almost a sitter. Tariki passes the ball across the face of goal. No one was there to tap it in from the home side. Story of the game, really. And we are off to penalties for a spot in the third round.
Thanks, Benny. We'll be back to you shortly. The draw, by the way, for the third round follows the games tonight, so we'll find out who will be up against who in the third round of the Carabao Cup. One of these names, Doncaster Rovers or Everton, will be in there, but we don't know yet. 1-1 for the moment. Ben Godfrey comes over the halfway line. This would be an embarrassment for Everton should they lose to a fourth tier opposition. Garner's cross in. Beto's header off the post. What a header, but it doesn't go in. Off the frame of the goal. That was some header. The power he got on that. Garner's delivery. Beto, I mean, no exaggeration, the goal is still wobbling.
Wow, what a header that was. I mean, the ball in's brilliant from Garner, but the header's even better. It's just an inch off going crashing against the back of the net. He'd have ripped the net. It was a bullet of a header.
I'm trying to think, you know, a comparison, another player who I could think that he's like. He's very athletic, brilliant in the air. There's almost a bit of Zlatan about him. Beto, not in terms of the tricks and flicks, but the strength. Here's a chance for Danjuma, flicks the top of the crossbar. Everton hit the woodwork twice in 30 seconds, but on both occasions the ball stays out of the net. Danjuma was leaning back and it was fractionally too high.
If I was an Evertonian, I'd be looking at Beto thinking, delighted. What a signing we're getting through the door. Someone who can run in behind, someone who's got an eye for goal. Yes, he had that comical moment with the finish, but before that and after it, his movement has been outstanding.
Right, substitution here. Sam Strong-Brown is going to come on as a late change. He'll replace Mo Fal, who's done very well running on his own up front for much of the night. While they make that change here, let's go back to Harrogate Town against Blackburn Rovers and Naz Premji.
Yes, it's finished Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 8. 7 different scorers, 2 youngsters for Rovers scoring on their debut. Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 8.
Thanks very much, Naz. Looking up to the stadium clock, 7 minutes of normal time to play. There'll be stoppages, of course. As Ironside looks up and tries to play a crossfield ball, but Ashley Young is well positioned. Wasn't the greatest header of his career from Ashley Young, but it goes back to Pickford, and between the two of them they work it back up towards the halfway line once again. Everton held 1-1 away from home at Doncaster Rovers here. Here is Beto on his Everton debut, having already scored, clinging on to a low-wounded defender. The referee spotting it, blows the whistle. Free kick to Doncaster Rovers. Everton are going to make a late change of their own. This could be with the penalties in mind. Mope is being brought on for Everton. Neil Maupay, who hasn't scored in his last 29 appearances. It's been the worst run of his career since moving to England. The former Brighton man is going to come on here in place of Abdoulaye Doucouré. Doucouré's whose goal against Bournemouth back in May secured Everton's survival. He will not be involved in the penalty shootout if that does come. Neil Maupay has been brought on instead. Champions League qualifying playoff. PSV Eindhoven against Rangers. Gavin Wallace.
Connor, you might be getting penalties, but it's more or less all over by the shouting here. It's PSV Eindhoven 5, Rangers 1. That's 7-3 on aggregate. 80th minute, Connor Goldson, not entirely sure what he was doing. A bit of interaction with him and Jack Butland. He went to pass it back to the goalkeeper and put it far too much over to his left, and it trundled into the goal. PSV Eindhoven 5, Rangers 1. 7-3 on aggregate.
Thanks, Gavin. Luke Molyneux trying to hold on to possession over the far side, trickles away from him. Owen Bailey allows it out of play because it came off an Everton player, and he knew this would be a Doncaster throw. They're keeping their cool, these Doncaster players. Poor start to the season in League Two, but you'd never think it on tonight's performance. Ball thrown into Zane Westbrook, midway inside the Everton half, tries to get it down to Tyler Roberts, who kicks the ball away into the crowd, maybe thinking it would waste a bit of time, but they got the multi-ball system, so another one immediately gets thrown in front of Jordan Pickford.
See, that's what I don't understand. He kicks it away, but there's a multi-ball system, so he's not gaining an advantage, so why book him? It doesn't change anything. It's a silly rule that at times.
So this is a throw into Everton, 15 yards inside the Doncaster Rovers half. Gravelly bellows from Sean Dyche, who's out of his technical area, almost on the pitch down below us. Gleaming white shirt and the tie. This is Godfrey into Maupay. Maupay, who's now up front alongside with Beto, who we have been impressed with tonight. One comedy shot aside, he's been very good. Can't wait to see a bit more of him. Here's Maupay, turning on the edge of the penalty area. Low into the feet of Beto, well marshalled by Jack Senior. Doncaster don't clear it away though. Comes back to Maupay on the edge of the D. There's a tangle of legs. Beto, Maupay. Will it sit up for someone? No. Doncaster shuffle it clear. Molyneux should be able to bring it away on the right side. He goes long. He goes direct. He's looking for Ironside. Pickford outside his penalty area is forced to use his feet. Idris Gueye holds onto. There's a tangle going on between Sam Strong-Brown, who's come on, and Onana, who's much taller than him, and the referee just runs in between the two of them. Play continues. Garner crosses from the right-hand side, too high for Beto. Header in there by Jack Senior. Straight to Onana on the edge of the penalty area. These are nervous moments now for League Two Doncaster Rovers. Dangling on a knife edge at 1-1 in the closing minutes with just over 3 of normal time to go. Good run forward. Danjuma, low ball in, Garner, right-footed shot blocked away by Jack Senior. That's brilliant defending. That was a well-worked Everton move. The low ball in from Danjuma was almost perfect, and Garner from 4 yards out can't believe he didn't score.
Outstanding, Jack Senior. Made sure he followed the run. James Garner got across, got in the line of the ball and the shot. That is a great block.
The goals Joe Ironside for Doncaster Rovers in the first half. Beto on his debut for Everton in this second period. Ashley Young delivers into the box. Jack Senior gives it a have-that clearance. Just booms it away down the field. Held up by Sam Strong-Brown. He's under pressure. Referee blows the whistle. Free kick to Doncaster. They needed that. A little bit of respite to let the defence push up. Sean Dyche goes reaching for another bottle of water, and he can't get enough of them. He sticks another enormous swig and places it back into the icebox once again. Penalty shootout could be on the way. Jordan Pickford, who has been a hero in penalty shootouts in the past. Everton, who've had plenty of calamitous days though with spot kicks too. Are we going to see this one decided on penalties? Ironside goes down 10 yards outside the penalty area. No free kick. Loose ball rolls to Maupay. Chance of a counter-attack as he tried to put it in front of Danjuma. Maupay picks up again possession in a more central location. Garner back into the Frenchman once again. Maupay's been busy since coming on. This is Onana. Clock ticks on. 88 minutes now. Danjuma on the left-hand side. Low to the feet of Maupay. Back to Danjuma. Right-footed. Can this finish it? Into the bottom corner. Everton lead for for the first time this season in any game. Danjuma's 1-2 was the bit of Premier League quality that Everton have lacked for so long tonight, but it has told in the end, and surely that's going to be that. In the final 2 minutes of the game, it's 2-1 Everton, and Arnaud Danjuma has just scored his first goal for the club.
That's a beautiful goal as well, so well worked. You said he'd been busy since he come on, Neil Maupay, and the link-up play between him and Danjuma is superb. Danjuma's down the left, he comes inside, little 1-2 with Maupay, and as he gets it, he takes 2 more touches, the defenders buy it, and then he just reverses the ball hard and low into the bottom left-hand corner, and Ian Lawler stood no chance of getting anywhere near it. It's been so much better in this second half from Everton with that injection of pace into the game.
So, well, there's applause around the stadium from Doncaster Rovers fans who I think have appreciated the effort that they've put in, but for the first time they are behind. Let's go to the penalties at Bramall Lane. Benny Glover.
And Lincoln are through to the third round of the EFL Cup. They won 3-2 on penalties. Sheffield United are the first Premier League team knocked out of the competition by a lower league opposition this Sunday. They missed 3 penalties, including Louis Marsh, who missed a penalty, just the youngster that has made his debut this evening in the senior team. So Lincoln through on penalties.
John and Dustin at Stamford Bridge. Chris Wise.
So the 5-time winners into round 3, not without suffering a sweaty night at Stamford Bridge. Madueke and Fernandes with the Chelsea goals in either half. AFC Wimbledon led for 25 minutes in the first period through James Tilley's penalty. Their first defeat of the season. A lot of pride for them though. Chelsea 2, AFC Wimbledon 1.
Thanks very much, Chris. The closing stages here at the Eco Power Stadium. Quite a tale to tell from this visit to this part of South Yorkshire this evening. Bottom of League 2, Doncaster Rovers scoring before half-time, living the dream, dreaming big dreams, but it's all been snuffed away from them right at the very end of the goals from Beto and from Danjuma, each of them scoring their first goal for their new clubs. Premier League quality has come through. I wouldn't say it's shone through, it's come through in the end. Beto flicks it on, but Garner knew he was offside and doesn't challenge for it. We're into stoppages here. 6 minutes to be added on. Stephen Warner.
Yeah, you just think that quality that Everton have been able to bring onto the pitch in the second half, the experience of Ashley Young, Idrissa Gana Gueye in that midfield has pretty much won every battle, every second ball, and Doncaster have just fatigued as well.
Here's Tyler Roberts. Can they get one more flash of inspiration? That's not a bad turn inside the penalty area. Back to Storm Brown, the other substitute. He shoots left-footed, comes off the backside of Ben Godfrey, and it clears out towards the corner flag where it's kept in play by Jack Senior, the defender who's come forward to help the defence now. It's all hands on deck for Doncaster. Everton should have cleared it there. Storm Brown turns again on the edge of the penalty area. Back out to Senior, back into Storm Brown. Across comes Maupay. He makes the challenge out. It goes for a corner. Corner to Doncaster in front of the Everton fans. This ain't over yet.
Well, they've been inventive, haven't they, from corners and set pieces. It's a 2v1. Everton have switched off. Cannot believe it.
Corner's been taken short again to the edge of the penalty area. Back out to Molyneux. His left-footed delivery hangs in the air, but there's too many tall Evertonians back there. Beto, I think, with a firm touch and clears the ball away. Beto, having come on at half-time, has probably been Everton's best player. Jack Senior plays it forward again. There's no flag on the far side. Chance for Doncaster, cross in by Maxwell is too close to Pickford, and the Everton goalkeeper grabs it and falls down onto his chest, and Everton are almost there. We've played 90 seconds of the 6 minutes already.
Well, that tells you everything about Everton's performance in the second half. Jordan Pickford claiming the ball and then falling on it, taking as much time as he can, trying to take that pressure off his team because he knows they've been in a game tonight.
Everton, who lost to an 87th minute winning goal against Wolves on Saturday, and they'll be hoping there's no late drama to come here. Grant McCann's got to throw his final dice at it here. He's got a double substitution to come on. There's very little time to go. 4 minutes of stoppages remaining. He's going to bring on Dei Satona, who's a forward, and he's also going to bring on Jack Goodman, who's a forward. So the
ball needs to go out first. It just doesn't feel like it's going to go out.
Eventually the ball does go out for a throw in on the far side. There's a clap of encouragement from McCann, the former Northern Ireland international. Zane Westbrook, who's running socks off in the midfield, will be the first to make way. And the other player coming off is James Maxwell. So they take off the left back, they take off the midfielder, Well, they might as well go for it now. 2-1 down against Premier League opponents. Grant McCann wants to go out all guns blazing. 2 strikers brought on to see if there might be one more chance. One more chance for Doncaster, who led for so long in this game, to get back on level terms and to make it 2-2. Mistake at the back though, and down the other end is allowed Danjuma into the penalty area. Here is Mopé, hits it off a defender, and the chance goes to Becking, does it, it's going to be resurrected by Garner, drills it in low. Good defending again. I think it was Aloha who made the block, and the ball goes off Garner and out for a goal kick to Doncaster, and they've got to get it down the other end immediately.
Yeah, go long, go direct, try and cause problems. It's the last opportunity for them, just over 2.5 minutes to go.
Lincoln City have knocked out Sheffield United on penalties at Bramall Lane. Burnley have knocked out Nottingham Forest. Blackburn are through. 8-0 winners away at Harrogate. Beto's cross on the right hand side blazes over the top of Danjuma. He's had some great moments tonight. That was not one of them. Beto's cross way overcooked and out for a Doncaster Rovers throw, and they've got just over 2 minutes of the allotted 6 remaining. Doncaster, if they're to make this an exciting finish at the Eco Power Stadium. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds, the Carabao Cup second round. Chelsea through tonight, having been behind against AFC Wimbledon. They came back at Stamford Bridge to win by 2-1. Everton now running down the clock, taking their time over this throw-in. The referee is over to just give scowl and make sure that no one's wasting time. It's got to be taken by Ashley Young towards Danjuma on the edge of the box. Great first touch by him. Mopé will shoot, but it's straight at the goalkeeper, and Ian Lawler makes the save. 1 minute 30 seconds of the 6 minutes remaining. Goalkeeper thumps it down the field, trying to bring Jack Goodman into the game. The substitute has come on. Godfrey though, strong, sticks to his task, clears the ball away for Everton. Godfrey slow to get back to his feet, but a cramp down there. Everton running down the clock again. Reminder, by the way, while we've got a break in play here, that the Rugby World Cup gets started very soon. First weekend into April, and coverage of every match available via 5 Live Sports Extra, BBC Sounds or the BBC Sport app. And there's a new 10-part podcast series, Rugby World Cup Top 10s, where World Cup winners Brian Habana and Matt Dawson join Chris Jones to debate the biggest issues in World Cup history. They talk about the best try, the greatest match, the biggest upset and more. And you can download the first 6 episodes now. They're all available via BBC Sounds, and the rest are to follow over the coming few days. Game back underway here. Joseph Alou clears the ball away up towards Goodman. He can't make it stick. George Broadbent looks for space, plays it out in front of Molyneux, who's back out on the right wing. But sweeping there is Ashley Young, who's done well since he's come on at half-time, and he clears the ball away for Everton. Anywhere will do now, because the 6 minutes are almost up. There might be another one for other delays, but this is do or die now for Doncaster. Positivity from their supporters who will take much from this performance in the position that they're in at the bottom of the Football League. To make Everton sweat as much as they had done tonight has been an achievement in itself, but by no means have Everton run away with this. Beto loses the ball in front of Jack Senior, but Idrissa Gana Gueye wins it back, and Beto straight to his right. He's got to give it to Beto. Idrissa Gana Gueye wants it himself. Now Beto, offside, he puts it in the net, but Idrissa Gana Gueye had waited too long, and Beto was offside, and Everton don't get the third goal.
No, he just delayed, and Beto should never be offside. He's looking down the line. But Doncaster go long.
6 minutes are up. It's at the discretion of the referee now. He brings the whistle to his lips, and it's all over. Grant McCann will shake hands with Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche needed this. Boy, did he need it. After 3 straight defeats in the Premier League, having not scored a goal this season in any competition before tonight, his team have been given an almighty scare by Doncaster Rovers, but from 1-0 down at half-time, Everton have turned it around. Beto on his debut, Danjuma with his first for the club. It finishes Doncaster Rovers 1, Everton 2.